voices rising like stories told. We talk, we can't survive, we share. Hug and lean back, feel the air. We talk, we can let the rhythm flow. From the heart of the streets to the studio glow. Tune in, feel the pulse of the scene. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly. We talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly. We talk weekly. We talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between.
All right, y'all. We definitely in the building. We're definitely in the building. We talk weekly after the talk on WPPM up in Philadelphia, 106.5 FM. We talk weekly after the talk with your boy Charles Bergen. The beautiful. And the beautiful.
Lawrence, is it?
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And we are in the building today. Super excited about today's show. We have so many dynamic folks. Looks like we have one of our guests here already. So we're going to jump right into, first of all, I got to ask you ladies, how was your day? How was your day? Huh?
Me?
Yeah.
I had a good day. I got some exciting news. I actually just passed my life and health insurance. So I can now sell y'all IUL, the index funds, the life insurance policies, health insurance. So if y'all, need the Medicare, Medicaid, or you need life insurance term or whole,
Awesome.
But the beautiful thing about it is education.
Mm-hmm.
Education about it, how important it is, having us that we don't have to do, fish platters, GoFundMe, because you buying your bundles, you getting your bling, like go ahead and put something towards a monthly premium. And they're not really expensive, especially when you start younger, it builds. And the beautiful thing about it, if you get educated, you'll get, it's called life insurance, but you use it at death. Well, they have it where you can utilize it during your life, where you can borrow against your money. Yeah. So, I mean, it's how a lot of people had generational wealth. $500,000 policies, you get it when you're young, you keep it, then, God forbid someone pass away, you do right with it, it'll grow. Yeah. So, no doubt. But that was my day. I had to take the test and I finished and passed, and that's it.
No doubt.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Round of applause for you right there. No doubt. All right, Sizzle, holla at me. How was your day?
All right, so I'm gonna tell you about how my night was. I could not sleep because I had this terrible migraine. I don't know what's going on, but I did have a pretty nice day because I went and got a much needed relaxing mani-pedi. So shout out to my nail salon, my nail techs that got me right today. And then, I kind of relaxed and, couldn't really do much because I still had is there such a thing as a migraine hangover? Like, I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling too good today, but yeah, I'm glad to be here and, I chilled today.
Fantastic. What about you, counselor?
I did not have a fantastic day.
Right.
We're just finalizing some funeral arrangements for my uncle
Yeah.
and making arrangements, for carpool
So
situations, who's going to drive where, when, and things like that. So just in the motion, picking out our coordinated outfits. I come from a family of singers and religious leaders. And because everybody is a recording artist nationally or internationally, everybody expects us to sing. So preparing our songs and stuff like that for the service.
Yeah.
And our coordinated outfits, of course.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
sure,
my condolences.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Well, it looks like we have our guest, Mr. Strickland, on.
Wait a minute, Spark didn't cut you off and say. She forgot to cut you off and say, "How was your day?"
Yeah. Thank you, Sizzle. All right, go ahead. How was your day?
See, you encouraging that stuff. It was cool. What we did was I had the opportunity to teach a session at New Millennium Multimedia Studios today in AI. And so I talked to the good old folks. Shout out to everyone who came out for the AI class, the AI session. And so it went really well. And of course, they want more classes. You know, AI is so broad, AI is so dynamic. And so you could teach one thing and something else is available. You know, you use one tool, another tool comes out. And so it's just about making sure that you know, that you stay on top of the latest of what's going on, especially as it relates to AI. And so that's what that was about. Yeah, for sure. No doubt, no doubt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's something else because AI is doing a lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
AI is doing way too much right now, you
Mhm.
know. And unfortunately, ChatGPT or the company OpenAI is under fire right now. Yeah, they under fire. Apparently, they made a deal with armed forces, you
Oh,
know.
wow.
And so, you know, I'll explore that story. I'll follow that story a little later on. But you know, it's just interesting that Big Brother is embedded in everything. And so, if you want to jump on one thing, you got to talk about all the other things supporting war and all of that. But you know, we talk weekly. We here for peace. We want peace, you know, and so we're praying for all those around the world. Hopefully, this war will stop, and we can reach a mutual kind of like concession, and we'll go from there. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. All right, no doubt. So, without further ado, we talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And so, who's going to do the honors?
I can do the honors.
Okay, there you
All
go.
right.
Holla at me, Spark. Who do we have today? Who do we have today?
Today we have Rob Strickler is a grassroots candidate running for Congress in Pennsylvania's first district, focused on restoring trust in the political process and ensuring voters have a real fair choice at the ballot box after more than a decade of the same political family representing the district. He'll be joined by his agent, Tisha Crippen. Tish is one of the creators of We Talk Weekly,
Yeah.
and they will discuss the push of transparency, community engagement, and taking the district back for the people. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Rob Strickler.
Hi, everybody.
Let's do a round of applause right there. Wow.
Thank you for the applause.
Absolutely. How are you? How are you? You know, we usually start the show with how was your day. So we're going to start with you and Tish. Tish already know how we get down, but I'd love to know how your day was today. How you feeling?
Well, my day was pretty good. I don't know if Tisha mentioned this to you guys, but I'm actually a former Democrat running for Congress. I suspended my campaign about a week and a half ago after some really ugly action by the local Democrats against a guy who just simply offered to do fundraising for me. But my day was spent walking around Lower Bucks County, getting signatures for a candidate that I believe in, Lucia Simonelli, who is still running as a Democrat for Congress, and I think she's wonderful. But you know, beyond that, I think I had a pretty good day.
Wow, fantastic,
Awesome.
fantastic.
Awesome.
What about you, Tish? Holla at me.
You know what? I had a fantastic day because I got to support what Rob shared today and signing a ballot for Lucia and you know, taking some time to support some friends who are in the arts world here in Philadelphia. So it was a good community day for me for sure.
Okay, fantastic. So, you know, since you brought that up, Mr. Strickler, I wanna jump into that. But before we do, right, I wanna gauge your feelings. How do you feel that you had to do that, step away from a particular party? How does that make you feel? You know?
Well, first of all, please call me Rob.
Okay.
And beyond that, as far as walking away from the party, I've said this many times since I launched my campaign back in early July. A political party is to me, it's like a jacket you wear. And if the jacket fits you, if it suits you, then keep wearing it. But when it stops it's no longer a good fit and it doesn't suit you anymore, walk away from it, try a new jacket, or if there's no jacket that suits you, just go around with no jacket, you know. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to stay a Democrat so I can continue to support Lucia, collect signatures for her, but also vote for her in this primary, because you may know Pennsylvania is a closed primary state.
Yes.
But after that, I am switching to an independent, because I think both parties are just horrible, and that's where I'm going.
Wow, amazing. So let's start from the beginning, right? Because I want to talk about one, your district, right? What district were you running? And two, what ultimately led you to the decision on stepping away from the party? Because I believe you ran prior too, right? You ran before this time, right?
No. This was
It's
my
your first time running.
This
Okay.
is my first time for running for any office, and
Oh,
I went ahead and ran for Congress. Just a little tiny bit of background is I did that primarily because Donald Trump came back to power, and our current congressman, Brian Fitzpatrick, wasn't doing a damn thing about that, to stop the horrible policies and actions and all the steps towards authoritarianism that Donald Trump is taking this country. So I started to think about running, and then a candidate came forward who was more of like an establishment party candidate for the Democrats, and I found him wanting. I just thought he was uninspiring and wasn't going to win. So I thought about it some more. My wife and I talked about it, and we launched our campaign, as I said, in July, and we went from there. And we started off, basically I didn't want to go, like head first into it. I went, I put up a website, and I got on social media, and I basically asked people. I put out my ideas and said, how do you feel about supporting this? Because I didn't even take donations at first. I wanted to find out what people thought about my ideas and me, because I don't want to take anybody's money if I didn't think this was a viable campaign.
right.
Turns out that it seemed to be viable enough that I can move forward with it. We started to raise money in the fall, and continued on. And as far as to answer your question, which I believe was partly, why I would stop running at some point,
Right.
has just been a tremendous amount of pushback from the local Democratic Party. And for people who don't know, the district is Pennsylvania 1. That's all of Bucks County and the eastern part of Montgomery County. That's the area it covers. And really, I was shocked. I was shocked at how adamant and how hostile the local Democrats and their committees were towards me entering this race. I mean, they really, really, really wanted their selected candidate to have an open field and run unopposed. And it just was terrible, really, some of the things that they did. I expected to be some kind of institutional support for this candidate, because he's been a party candidate for a long time, or I should say a party member. So he has a lot of relationships, and that's fine. I can understand that. But the dirtiness of the tricks is just terrible.
Right.
And I could even take all that. I could take the name calling. I could take the lack of cooperation, the just the sort of the stonewalling, and we'll talk about Vote Builder, I'm sure, soon. But the thing that the straw that broke the camel's back was this guy from Nashville, a Nashville recording artist, a country western recording artist named Trey Taylor, found our campaign on social media. He offered to fundraise for us, because that's the kind of thing he does. He's like an independent, but he fundraises for different people who he just wants to help them out, especially a so-called outsider candidate, like a grassroots candidate like me. So he offered to do that. And then when we set up the venue and everything, had it all ready to go, we started advertising that. And don't you know, somebody finds some old photo of him standing next to some MAGA Republican at some fundraiser for some candidate that he supported, playing music for, because again, he does these things for unity, and they pretty much, like a pack of piranhas, just savaged him. I mean, they savaged him on social media, and it disgusted me. The guy's name is Trey Taylor. They were calling him Trey Traitor. And they compared him to Andrew Tate, I think his name is, if you're familiar with him, the self-proclaimed misogynist and accused rapist. And it was just terrible. And frankly, I'm the kind of guy, if I'm going to run for office, every word I've said, I believed in. It was the truth.
Mm.
And if I just found I could no longer stand up in front of people and say, I'm running as a Democrat for Congress and mean it anymore, because I was just so horrified by this. So I decided to suspend my campaign because my heart just was not in it. And I decided to support Lucia Simonelli because, she's just really a great candidate. And she and I had become good friends over the course of this, running for office. And that's where I am right now.
Rob, I want to ask you now, for those who don't know, from Democrat to Republican, tell us what's the difference to becoming an independent. That part.
An independent just basically means you're unaffiliated. I mean, I'm going to do this after the primary. I'm going to change my affiliation. I'm not going to be a Democrat anymore. I'm just going to go to the Pennsylvania.gov site and become an independent. If you're running for office as a Republican or a Democrat, well, then you're running to gain their support for your campaign, hopefully their endorsement. And then if you win the primary, you have the party support. If you're running for Congress like I was, the Democratic Party would presumably give me a couple $1 million to effectively compete for this seat against Brian Fitzpatrick. If you're running as an independent, then you don't have any of that. But there are quite a number of organizations out there that are, in fact, created to support independent candidates because they themselves are opposed to the whole idea of party politics.
Why do you feel like there's such, or you've received such a lack of support from the Democrats or the Democratic Party?
Well, like I said, when the other guy, his campaign launched in April, and there was a lot of endorsement for this guy, including from the chair of the Bucks County Democratic Committee, a guy named Steve Santaserio, and also the chair of the Montgomery County Committee. Santaserio, of the Bucks County Democrats, endorsed him on this very same day as his campaign launch. And I find that to be pretty unethical. The chair of the county committee endorsing a candidate right off the bat. I mean, that guy has all kinds of influence, and the other committee members, the subcommittees, most of them are going to follow his lead. Mm-hmm. And the reason I think initially why there is a lack of support is, like I said, they really wanted to have an unopposed primary for their candidate, the longtime Democrat. Hopefully that would save, let's say, money, for the general election, and there would be no divisiveness in the party, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I ran because I listened to this guy. I was hoping that he would convince me that he would be somebody I could get behind and maybe work on his campaign and support him. He just was not. He was like 100 other politicians that I've seen time and again, spouting the same tired rhetoric, the same political speak, just really using a lot of words to not say anything specific. And I'm growing up in Lower Bucks County, Levittown area, Fairless Hills. All the people I know are going to listen to this guy and just not be inspired to vote for him at all. And as I'm sure all of you know, a lot of people don't bother voting at all. Mm-hmm. And this candidate is kind of the reason why, I think. And I wanted to offer some alternative, something to try and excite people. And then, after I got into the race, I think there was about 5 other people who had never run for public office got in the race as well. So they must have looked at him and thought the same thing.
Because you were, as a part of your campaign, you were staunchly against private donations. And what, and I'm pretty sure of the answer to this, but why were you staunchly against private donations, if you could say?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me, as most people do when I start talking about it. Private donations to political campaigns at the federal level was my main focus. I mean, you could say also for local and state, but is poisoning our government. the policies that we get from our Congress and our president are just seem to be controlled by Exxon and Chevron and Tesla and Aetna and all the big corporations that put in millions of dollars every election cycle so they can make billions and billions of dollars with favorable legislation for themselves at the expense of everyday folk like you and me and all the people I grew up with, again, in Lower Bucks County. It's been that way. It's probably been that way for much longer than this, but for the past 50 years or so, when they really started deregulating the way they run elections and deregulating the tax code, not deregulating the tax code, but altering it to make it more favorable for people who already have a lot of money at the expense of people who don't have very much. And all the deregulation regarding allowing corporations to get all kinds of tax savings and run their corporations where they don't really have to worry about being curtailing their pollution and global warming greenhouse gases. It's gone on far too long, and that's one of the things I was hoping and am still hoping to change about our elections. Is I wanted to replace it with no private donations to candidates. Each candidate you register with the FEC, like you already have to do anyway, and then you would get a web page on the FEC site and have a photo, video, a summary of what you believe in. Maybe you fill out a survey, et cetera, and then you would invite people to go there. Average citizens who would also have an account, just like you have an account like with for your Social Security, with the government. And citizens themselves would decide who can get a government grant to run their campaign, a publicly financed grant. No massive war chest for any candidate. The qualifying candidates would just get the same amount of money. Everybody has the same amount, and that's all you get. And if you run out of money before election day, too bad. You should have learned how to live in a budget before you ran for Congress.
It sounds fair.
Yeah.
Rob, with the Reverend Jesse Jackson passing away, condolences to him. It seems like he challenged the Democratic Party back in the 80s. Do you think that the pathway now for independency is going to be the way to go?
Well, I can tell you this, the number of people leaving the Democratic Party, and maybe some are leaving the Republican Party. I don't know so much about that, and becoming independent, just registered as an independent, is increasing. It's definitely increasing in in Bucks County in this district. It was like at 85,000 registered independents the last time I checked, and I think it was approaching 90,000 because people are just disgusted with these parties. There is definitely a viable chance for an independent, I think, to win this seat this year if the Democratic candidate, and by the way, I keep avoiding saying his name because Letitia is my former campaign manager, and she told me, don't say his name. Don't give him any more press that he already gets. So I said, okay, so now this guy's Voldemort. I won't, he who must not be named.
Right.
So I still can't get out of the habit of not saying his name. But there is definitely a viable a pathway for an independent to run in this district. If you can get the lion's share of those independents and you peel off some Republicans who are disgusted with Trump, you peel off some Democrats who are uninspired by what they're doing and are tired of their corruption, and then maybe you add in some people who just didn't even bother to vote in 2024 because there's a lot of them. A lot of them I know personally down in Lower Bucks. And as a matter of fact, I was knocking doors today, and I knocked the door of a couple who were supposed to be Democrats. And I said, "Hey, I'm collecting signatures for Lucia Simonelli, Democrat for Congress." "Oh, we're not Democrats anymore. We're, you're too late. We just changed to independent. Both the husband and wife." And I told them what I said to you. After this primary, I'm not a Democrat anymore either. I'm just doing this to help Lucia.
Yeah.
So absolutely a viable path for an independent, I think.
And Letitia, I just wanted to say to you, because I know you've been doing some amazing work over the years, and we're so grateful to have you with us tonight. You've been his campaign manager. Like, what are your thoughts on him having to suspend his campaign? Because I'm sure that a lot of his constituents are disappointed. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you feel about that?
Thank you for that question, and thank you all for having me. I met Rob, and I spent a lot of time. He's laughing. I spent a lot of time drilling him, asking him all the real questions, just to see if he means what he says he means. Is he who he says he is? And one of the things that was very clear to me is that Rob is the real deal. Rob is a fighter. He's not playing. And as you can tell, he's extremely educated and well versed in this game. And so when I started to see, one of the best parts about this experience working with him was being able to see what happens in the background. And I was floored. I mean, you hear about it, right? But like, to see it in real life, your own party, you're like, this is how we got here. Lauren, we covered when we were rooting for Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Back when DNC was in Philadelphia eons ago. Now I know why he was never a real option for us, because the politics behind the politics are nasty on both sides, And so when these things were happening with Trey Taylor, and might I add, Trey Taylor is an African-American young man that our party people were attacking. These were Democrats attacking this young man. And so they could have attacked Rob.
Yeah.
They could have attacked me. I worked for him. They was attacking this young man, not even from the state, and and calling it fair game. And it was just really embarrassing and disrespectful. And so when that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Rob, I said, oh, he really, as we say, about that life. You're not coming for, he's not letting anybody catch any strays. He's not going to tolerate the disrespect. And I can stand behind that. So when he called and let me know, like, hey, look, I don't know if I'm messing with these folks. And I was like, hey, look, I think I agree with you. It's important to keep our morals intact, our integrity intact. And, we hear these people say, oh, it's no party, party again. No, people first.
Yeah.
People first person.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So that's how I felt about it.
And I just want to say a couple of things. Firstly, the thing, I have ideas, and I think I have character and values and everything. But I think one of the most important things that I offered people was integrity. When I said something, I meant it, and I believed it. And I just could not, after seeing how they attacked Trey Taylor, I could not feel good about saying I'm running as a Democrat for Congress. I just could not do that. And if you start lying about that, what else are you going to lie about? I mean, integrity is somebody can take your life, but they can't take your integrity. You can only give that away. And I wasn't willing to give it away, for the Democrats, for not the local ones, not even the national ones, who I think they're no prize either. Some of these people, who make decisions at the top level. And I don't want to make this seem like I'm bashing only Democrats. The Republican Party, I've actually talked to a number of people who are still in or were in the Republican Party. They say it's the same thing, on their end. It's just this party politics have become almost like a private game to them, where they don't care about regular citizens anymore. It seems to be more about tying money into it too, getting the big donors, getting the big corporations to support them, and it's really disgusting. But I do want to can I tell the story, Letitia, about how we met? I mean, it's a funny story.
You can, but I know you won't forget this story, because you never can. I just want to add one more thing based on what you said, because I want to add a little bit more texture to this story. That incident regarding Trey Taylor was one piece of this big pie.
True.
where, you know, we were going to Democratic meetings, official meetings throughout the county, throughout the district. And these folks were being extremely disrespectful to people. And when I say people, there's been instances where party leaders were snatching microphones from women, disrespecting. I mean, it's not just that, it's this layer of
Wait, real quick. So you're saying
disrespect.
this is the Democratic, the people on the blue side is doing
This
this?
is correct.
Wow.
And again, why I'll always have Rob's back. Rob wasn't afraid to go to these meetings and literally call these people out. How dare you?
Yeah.
You will not. We will not stand for this. And so when we think about, and this is why I wanted to make sure Rob came on today's show, and everybody listen, when you think about being involved with politics and what we have going on, you have to really identify somebody who's going to fight for you in
Yes.
Washington,
That's right.
fight for you in Harrisburg. They're not just some yes man who's going to do whatever whoever gave them the most money, the highest donation, and do whatever they say. Somebody who's going to say hell no, just like you would like to say, but they're speaking on your behalf. And so we have to send fighters. We have to send people who are going to speak up and speak out, people who respect other people. And a lot of these folks in the party, and when I say in the party, these are people who sit on the boards. These are people who run these committees. These are people who are running Facebook pages for so-called progressive or unifying sites. They are still acting like these disrespectful zealots or what have you, as we see
Right.
on the other side. They're doing the same thing. They're not causing unity. They're not creating unity. And the people have to take back their power and say, no, we're not going to keep sending these jokers to DC on our behalf.
True.
Yeah, Rob, you wanted to finish your story before?
Oh,
Did you? Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, first, I just want to talk about how Letitia and I met. I mean, just real briefly, it's because it's funny. We were not canvassing down in December. Trying to just build up support for the campaign. A supporter and I, named Sherry Cook, were knocking doors, and we knocked on the door of the Crippen household. And her husband came to the door with a phone in his hand. Hey, how you doing? I said, hi, I'm Rob Strickler. I'm running as a Democrat for Congress. Here's my pamphlet. And, we're hoping that maybe you'll consider supporting me. And he listened and says, you know what? Let me get my wife. She just got home from shopping. She's not feeling well. She has a stomach ache, but this is her thing. Let me get her. She want to talk to you.
Dang,
Yes.
And then, so he invited us in, and we're petting their dog. Their Bullet the dog. It's a cool dog. And just beautiful home, beautiful living room. He's back there at one of the back bedrooms, and then he waves us back. Come on back. So I walk in there with Sherry, and there's Letitia laying on the bed with a throw blanket on, and she's holding the pamphlet like she looked it over, and she looks at me and she said, "Oh, so you're running for Congress, are you?" And she starts grilling me. She started, where do you stand on this issue? What's your policy on this? Are you on social media? How about videos? I own a video company, and what you want this? I felt like I should have had a notepad and started taking notes while talking to this woman. Like she wasn't feeling well, and she's like engaging me like this, and she even called her mom, who lives down in Virginia, and she didn't get through, but I was just so impressed with her. I told her right then and there, I want you working on my campaign. Will you volunteer for my campaign? And she was all coy. I'll think it over, whatever. And then, so Sherry and I left, and I remember saying to Sherry, we got to get this woman working on the campaign. And she said yes.
And then the real deal.
And she joined up. And then when the time came, my former campaign manager had to drop out, and I needed a campaign manager. And I started to think, okay, well, maybe I need a different kind of campaign manager. Maybe I should start looking. And I thought, You know, I got this woman, Tisha Crippen, right here, right in front of me, who knows what's going on. She understands where I stand on things. She's fearless, and
Wow.
she's just full of ideas. I'm going to ask her, and then we were off to the races.
Fantastic.
That's
Awesome.
amazing. It's like
Yeah.
it's like that Three's Company song, like "Come on, knock on our door." You knocked on the right door that day, and I'm just like not at all
Yeah.
surprised because she's just so thorough and just so like just amazing and talented and on so many different levels. So I just knew like literally where that story was going to go. But
And
it's just
honestly, I feel sometimes I feel bad. I regret my decision to drop out. For
yeah.
all the supporters and volunteers who put time and effort into this, and there were donors, and also for Lucia. I mean, I really wanted to see what would happen with her as the campaign manager,
Yeah.
to see this through, at least through the primary and everything, because she had so many great ideas, but like I say, I couldn't do it. I mean, I
Mm.
couldn't say I'm a Democrat and mean it anymore, because my heart was just taken out by what
Yeah.
happened to Trey and so many other things, like Letitia said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to hear about everything that happened, but there's this thing with Vote Builder.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
software that the Democratic Party makes available to candidates running for office, and we were given it in late October. We asked for it, and we're given it by the Bucks County Democrats, and we used
Mm.
it for about 2 months, 2.5 months, and we used it well. I used to be a product software manager at a software company, and we used that database. It was actually kind of how we found Letitia, and we built up data in there, our data to use, that we're going to use so we could follow up with people to get petitions and everything. And we use that to guide where we go. And then January 5th, I remember distinctly getting up that morning, and I got an email from my campaign manager at the time. We were cut off from Vote Builder, just cut
Oh
us
my
right
God.
off.
Wow.
And we got an email from the executive director of the Bucks County Democrats, a guy named Zach Kirk, who said that the Pennsylvania state committee told him that we were not supposed to have been given it because we were a federal candidate,
Mm.
not for free anyway. And I had to contact them, and we did, and they told us, yeah, you can have it, but it's $6,000. Now,
What?
Mm.
and that's fine. If a mistake was made, then that's fine. If they had told us it was $6,000 up front, I either would have budgeted for it or I would have used something else.
Yeah.
But they made the mistake, and I said, okay, all right, we don't have that money. Can you just export our data and give it to us? Oh yeah, we can. $6,000.
Mm.
I mean, that is the kind of dirty tricks that these people have been playing. Because I'm convinced, I don't have any proof, but I'm convinced that somebody talked to somebody and said, this guy's gaining a little bit too much momentum
That's
in,
what
in
it
this
is.
Yes.
district, and we gotta like blunt his nose. It's kind of like the way what the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders back in
Yeah.
2016 on a
Yeah.
small scale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I was interesting. I always been a Bernie supporter. Always been, one to feel. I always used to say that, I'm a Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat with Republican views who think independently. I will always say something like that, right? And as long as Tish and I have been having conversations, this is eerily similar to what we've been saying for a long time. And the way that I diagnose it, I believe that the problem is the closed primary.
Hmm.
And the fact that Pennsylvania, either you have to, if you're a Democrat, have to vote Democrat in the primary, or if you're Republican, have to vote Republican in the primary. You can't truly vote for the person who may be best for the job. And that person may not be a Democrat if you're a Democrat during the primary, right? And so the problem that I have is that, one, I'm sure that system will never be changed, but my own party, the challenge that I have is very disheartening to see that my own party was acting in a way that was very how can I put it? Very unbecoming of a party that you point fingers at when it comes to Republicans all of the time.
Right.
Right. And so that's challenging for me, which makes me constantly think, you know what? I don't know if this is the path that I would like to lead. And I'm seeing people who, are making comments and saying that you're a person for the people. And all of us can attest, right? Anytime that we have candidates on the show, we always end with, I don't care what party you're affiliated with. If you're for the people, then we're for you. There's no question. There's no question for me, because Ms. Johnson may be a registered Republican, but I know Ms. Johnson has been doing the work since I was looking up to her since I was a kid. So why wouldn't I vote for someone who is best suited for a particular job, because I know they're doing the work? And so I have a problem with the way that the system is set up. This two-party system has been in constant conversation, have discourse with saying, how can we do better? Because I believe it should be more than just a two-party system. The click part, the boxing out, the gatekeeping, I have problems with all of this. And I'm sorry that you actually went through that. But one thing that I will say is you're in good hands with Tish, right? And it's good to see her doing the work for you, because I already know the ethics, morals, and values that Tish Crippen has, because she has been with us. So I know that just because she's supporting you, I'm already down for you, right? Because it speaks for itself, right? And so off my soapbox right now, what are the other this time went so fast, I can't believe it. What are the other things that you are doing, right, that you didn't mention, that you feel the community and those who are watching need to know about Rob Strickler?
Well, as I say, I'm supporting Lucia Simonelli. I'm putting all my efforts into getting her on the ballot. We're right in the middle of ballot petition right now. And, we know that once those petitions are sent to Harrisburg, the committee people, the establishment candidate, they're going to challenge them. So hopefully we have enough signatures on there. And I'm actually appealing to anybody who hears this. If you live in the district PA-01 and you want to support Lucia, because I swear to God, Lucia and I have been in contact almost like from the beginning when I launched in July, and she contacted me, and we had wonderful conversations multiple times. And our stance on policies and our values are so in alignment. We're different personalities, of course, but if you like what I had to say at all, I beg you to contact me or Lucia's campaign, LuciaForCongress.com, and offer to sign her petition if you are a registered Democrat in the district. But to answer the rest of your question more fully, our campaign has a thing we call Democracy Dogs, which is kind of a fun thing we did. I have dogs. I love dogs. And I would show up to events with a dog in tow. And people would look at her and say, "Oh, look at your cute dog. Is out here rallying for democracy?" And I say, "Yeah, she's a democracy dog." And people loved that. So we did a whole thing about democracy dogs. We made up buttons and everything. Bark for your rights, be a democracy dog. So we started doing a democracy dog podcast to kind of raise awareness of the campaign, and I'm going to keep doing that. I mean,
Fantastic.
I actually did have Lucia Simonelli on our podcast the other week. I'm editing that to put it out there because we don't do it live, but I'm going to use that platform first of all to try. You mentioned like closed primaries. I want to allow independent registered voters to vote in our primaries. They're taxpayer funded primaries, yet you have, like in this district, about 90,000 people who, or more actually, including people who just aren't actually registered as independents, who can't participate in that. Only registered Democrats and Republicans, and we taxpayers pay for that. And what really, really angers me about the way the Democratic Party and this candidate Voldemort has conducted himself is we taxpayers pay for this primary election, and they're going to be so corrupt in the way the dirty tricks. That's the only word I can think about it, phrase I can think of. I mean, they're blunting a fair and ethical primary process on our taxpayer dime, and I think that's just got to stop, immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the Democracy Dogs, podcast as hopefully a way to help. I'm really just going to focus, like here in Southeast Pennsylvania, and see what good can come of that.
Any chances you'll run again in the future?
Well, I don't mind saying right here and now that if the Voldemort wins the primary, if it's not one of the other candidates, I am already looking into running as an independent.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, I got cheers for that.
We got the exclusive. You heard that, Tish? We got the exclusive.
The one thing I have to overcome, though, unfortunately, is that I have, we were just at the beginning of the ballot petition period, and that's when the whole Trey Taylor thing blew up. Myself and others have presented petitions to get signatures so I can be on the primary ballot as a Democrat. They have, I guess, a law or regulation here in Pennsylvania that says if you do that, then you cannot change your affiliation and run for office in that year. So I'm precluded from doing that. But I've reached out to some legal advice on that, because I think that's a violation of my civil rights. I personally believe that. I mean, why would we have that law on the book? Why would we have that regulation? People change their mind. I'm allowed to change my mind, aren't I? And say I especially after what happened with Trey Taylor, why wouldn't I change my mind and say I'm done with this? I'm doing this. So I'm looking into it.
Yeah. So if now looking back and truly assessing the journey, right? And I'll ask Tish the same question, and you can ponder on this after Mr. Strickler answer. But knowing what you know now, do you believe, or what would you have done differently, knowing what you know now?
Well, I can say as far as running my campaign, I think I would have started a little later, because we started in July. And that's a long time to sustain a grassroots campaign, to get it off the ground and running. If I started in, let's say, September or something like that, financially, it would have been easier, I think. Secondly, knowing what I know about the Democratic committees in this area, I would not even have bothered contacting them at all. I mean, my former campaign manager suggested that I contact them, get meetings with them. Our strategy was not that I was going to win the endorsement. We knew that was never going to happen. We just wanted to convince enough of them that we should not have anybody be endorsed. Not get to the 60% of the votes that you would need to be endorsed. But the stonewalling and the foot dragging and the time wasted just trying to get in to talk to these people. And then some of the, as Tisha mentioned, I mean, I was at a meeting one time having my speaking time in front of people after Voldemort talked, uninterrupted, and I was up there talking. The chair of the Bucks County Democrats interrupted me right in the middle of my speaking time. Right in the middle, and we got in a big argument over it. So really, the thumb is on the scale with these committees, and I would have just bypassed them and done whatever I could just to reach out to rank and file Democrats and say, I'm running, and I'm doing this as an outside thing. I'm not part of the party establishment. I hope you'll support me. That would have been my strategy.
Yeah. And Tish, with the understanding of the same question, but you being campaign manager, as a consultant, what do you feel you would have done differently with knowing all of this, right? Is there anything that you would have changed?
Yeah, I think having more time with those independent voters, the constituents at large, rather than spending time with the party itself.
Yeah.
Let's just
Right.
say we were still running as a party, going out into the communities and rallying up the churches, the mosques, the community-based organizations, and really getting the people more aware and riled up around what the party was trying to tell them to do, versus them understanding that they have the power and they didn't have to follow the party's instructions, if you will, because that's what they're doing. They were trying to tell them, hey, this is the guy we say you're going to vote for. It's like, y'all don't have to listen to them. You know that, right? So like spending more time educating them and getting them more fired up about being a part of this, I think would have been something that would have led to more promise and been able to allow us to not have to worry about what the establishment was doing.
Right. Fantastic.
Because, you know, Jasmine Crockett, it appeared that she wasn't even really the endorsed candidate from the party, you know, but she had the people. They didn't even know who the party was endorsing until it was a whole scandal, because she was engaged with the people at such a large scale. And I think that's important to continue to educate the voters.
Yeah.
And I'll just add one thing, if you don't mind, real quick,
No.
is I wish the Democratic Party would do what Letitia just described. They have such an opportunity to be educators of voters, engaging voters. They could have said, okay, we had our main establishment guy running. Oh, but look, here are these other people coming in. Let's have some forums. Let's have some group forums. Let's, meet the candidates. Put up on your websites, the committee websites. Here are the 5 or 6 candidates running for the seat. Let people know who's running, and then really don't have an endorsement. Just have an open primary and let that play out, because I think your rank and file voters are going to make a much better decision, and more. They're going to pick someone who's more likely to win than the committees, who, by the way, have gone 0 for 7 now against the Fitzpatrick brothers in this district.
Interesting. I want to do you, Mrs. Strickler, I want to do you a solid, and I want to give you kind of like a last word for the plea to the people, so I can give you your own kind of clip, right? And so I'm going to give you, I want in 30 seconds, I want you to talk to the people, whatever way you feel that they need to be addressed. But I want to give you this moment to make that address to the community that's watching. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. And by the way, Rob, please. But to anybody listening, as I said, I'm supporting Lucia Simonelli. She's an excellent candidate. LuciaForCongress.com. Separately though, you do not have to just accept what the Democratic Party feeds you as a candidate. You do not, and you should not. I'm requesting that you get more engaged yourself and find out who's running. You can go to Ballotpedia, and that will list every candidate that's running in this race, and many of them have filled out surveys. It's an excellent source that people are really starting to use. Educate yourself, and don't rely on what the party tells you, because the party has a very poor decision-making process as far as who they support. It's very transactional. The party wants to know. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, what have you done for the Democratic Party? I want to talk about what I can do for people. That's where I'm coming from.
That's right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Because they're bullies. They sound like a mob. They sound like, made men. Look, you be down or lay down, that type of thing, and it is what it is. So, well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming to the show. One thing we say to the show is, once you come to the show, you're always welcome to come back. But before we let you go, how can the people who watch and get in contact with you find out all that good old stuff?
Contact me. I still have my campaign email.
Okay.
It's robstricklerforcongress.com, and the website's still up. Rob at robstricklerforcongress.com, and the website is also still up. robstricklerforcongress.com. If anybody wants to contact me, it's still up and running. And as I said, I'm looking into options to possibly run as an independent, depending on how this primary plays out.
Yeah, fantastic. Tish, any last words?
No, I thank you all for having us on the show. Also just being a voice to educate the voters and the people on the process that impacts our lives day in and day out. You can always follow me at Madam Touch, MADIMTOUCH, on all social media platforms. And make sure you like and subscribe to We Talk Weekly on
Hey,
YouTube,
Hey.
Facebook, and Instagram.
fantastic, fantastic. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And I don't want you guys to go anywhere. We just had a dynamic show with Mr. Well, he likes Rob, so I'll call him Rob right now.
Thank you.
And the Tish Crippen. So I want to say thanks for tuning into the show. And I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, we got some good news and bad news. We got the sizzle. We even got some legal tea with tea and all this other kind of stuff in another interview. We have a jam-packed show. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. We'll be right back after this, y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Roxanne Shante, and your week cannot be complete unless you listen to or watch We Talk Weekly. Please believe me, baby.
I'm Ella Guanza, reporting for You Civic News. Today I'm just going to show you our Sunday routine on how everything goes down. So here we're on the second level, and CIC building. Here we do a lot of film productions, film programming, a lot of learning and hands-on activities. So in one of the rooms I'm about to show you is where some of the students are doing their beats, which are their stories. So right now they're researching some things and just figuring out their lines and all their fun things that they're gonna say. And then in the next room is where we're gonna film. So right now they're getting the cameras ready and all the other equipment. So when we're filmed, everything will go smoothly and perfectly. I'm Ella Guanza reporting for Youth Civic News. Back to your program.
We Talk Weekly After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the, I don't hear y'all. Hold on. One more again. Let me,
Lauren Sizzle.
There she go. And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And we are back. All right. You ready for me, classy lady?
I'm ready.
All right. Give it to me early.
All right. This is some bad news. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but police have said that an 11-year-old boy shot and killed his mother's boyfriend.
What?
Did y'all hear about that?
What? No.
In the King Sesson part of Philadelphia?
Mm.
All right. Well, investigators say that the boyfriend, 30-year-old Jameer Jones Walker, was from Lansdowne, and he had came to the home and got into a very heated argument with the child's mother. That argument was turned violent, and basically they were inside the second floor bedroom. According to police, the young boy saw the man assaulting his mother. He grabbed a handgun that belonged to his mom, fired one shot in the man's face.
Wow. What?
Killing him.
Wow.
There on spot. So the man was pronounced dead at the scene just before midnight, and sources says that the dispute may have been connected to the visitation rights that the mother and the man had a newborn baby. So I think they were having a dispute about that. Neighbors did say that they used to hear a lot of arguing coming from the home. The child and his mother are cooperating with investigators, and the DA is still reviewing whether any charges are going to be filed. So sad.
Terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Terrible.
I mean, my granddaughter is 10. I'm just like thinking 11 years, or you could just think about when you're 11. Now, I don't know how many people have shot a gun before, even down to a 22. That's a smaller gun for a 11-year-old, but it's a joke when you like and the aiming for the man's face.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I did list a number for the National Domestic Violence. Pretty much 24/7 hotline. The national number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. Or for the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence, it's 1-800-932-4632.
Sparkle.
Wow.
It's interesting that you would bring up that story. Recently, in the Philadelphia area and in local surrounding counties, there have been news about custody disputes ending tragically for either the mother or father or both. It seems to be on the rise. At some point, I'm going to discuss with everybody the changes in Caden's law that relates to some of the stories we've been seeing on the news, where with custody court, after the situation with Caden, I don't know if you guys know what that was. But just to briefly relay the facts, dad had the kid. He was calling mom, taunting, using the kid like kind of as a pawn, taunting mom and saying he would do all these things to the child for his custodial time. Come to find out, dad severely stabbed the kid. And then after he died, he carved in, words and stuff on the body and things like that, and called mom, was laughing and things about it. It was terrible. But we do see a lot of that recently with custody disputes. I know Sparkle gave the domestic violence hotline, but if you are having any sort of violent event, whether it's physical domestic violence, verbal domestic violence, emotional domestic violence, like what the man did with the taunting, any kind of violence, I do urge you to get your police reports, get your protection from abuse. If you happen to have a criminal matter, please show up in court so that the matter can go forward. These things do need to be documented, present them at your custody hearings, and do what you can. After Caden's law, the custody courts now have to hone in on domestic violence history. It wasn't that they weren't already required to do so, but it's being held to a more higher standard now. And so domestic violence past, whether it was the two of you or one of you, whatever is in your history has it's been highlighted, and it's more of a zeroing in on it before a court issues a custody order. So these things are coming into heavier scrutiny and heavily consideration before things like that are ordered.
Wow. And just to make it known, this isn't gender specific.
No.
This is also men who get domestic violence, like they're either same-sex partners or either a woman hitting on a man. So this is in general for anyone, even elderly abuse.
Absolutely.
When you're being cared for by someone and you're being abused. So we're talking across the board. Go ahead, Cecil.
I was going to say, like, what are your thoughts on how, because sometimes women are confused as to like what they can do when it comes to, the custody exchanges, like, when there's separations involved and one parent is exchanging custody with the other parent. For example, the young lady that was killed in Upper Darby a couple months ago, and there was a lot of people that were saying, like, on social media, oh well, she should have done this and she should have done that. Why would she go and to his house to pick the kids up? Because when they went to pick the kids up, they got into an argument and the dad shot and killed the mom in front of the children. So should there be an arrangement or a legal arrangement, meeting at the police station or something like that?
So I always tell people that your family better than any court system or any judge or whoever does. You know what's been happening behind the scenes. You know what their propensities are. And if you have a history of that, even if nothing has happened recently, but if you are generally aware and you go to seek a custody order, you can request that your custody order is crafted to have specific language around your exchanges. A lot of parties go to police stations where they sign a log to say, I came at this time and this was the exchange, but they also go there for protection and security because of a history. Even if something only happened one time, it happened. It is a part of your history. So don't think that, oh, well, I can't really prove it, or, oh, well, this only happened one time. Sometimes that's all it takes. And then you don't want a second time. You don't know what's going to cause someone to escalate at some point, what's going to cause someone to turn and use their children literally as weapons against you. So you do have that right to petition to the court so that you can have a more safe custodial exchange.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. The second story. Now, this family is something that I think every Philadelphian or somebody close to you have gone through. So if you've been driving around Philly and you don't see the boots anymore, you might start seeing these big, bright yellow devices on the windshield. Now they're called barnacles. Have y'all seen them? Instead of putting a boot on, they're now putting this big yellow barnacle over the windshield so that you literally can't drive your car. You get here's the conversation is heating up. Council member Cindy Bass says that these devices have been largely unregulated and there are concerns that they could be used unfairly. She's pushing legislation so barnacles would follow the same rules as towing or booting, meaning a vehicle would not be able to receive a barnacle unless it's ticketed first by the police, or by PPA. Like it has to have a ticket first. So pretty much, if you think that you're just going to go and put the barnacle on a windshield, you can call the police and have them remove it if you weren't ticketed first. So they're saying that there's laws behind it. So if you're struggling with any tickets, here are some options that we're solution based, so you can try to make payment arrangements or something with the Philadelphia Parking Authority. So they do offer payments. Sometimes they're low as $20 a month depending on how much you owe. You can call 1-888-591-3636. That's to dispute a ticket or ask about assistance. And if you're local, you can do 215-683-9580. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah.
Man, I don't have one. I'm not a fan of the PP. Listen, here go a cheat code, y'all. If you got those tickets and you worry about that particular thing, turn your car off with your windshield wipers in the up position. The only way they can put it on now is if they break your windshield wipers. And so then you got a case.
Because now it's
cheat code.
Yeah, it's hurting the car. But here's something else Philly has started doing. Now, back in the day, if you got a ticket on that car, you get another car and you good. No. Now, you get a ticket on that car, it's following your license. So any car that's now registered under you, every car gets a ticket. They can take any... I see you over there, Esquires, nodding your head. Is there truth to it?
I've actually seen it happen to a close friend. So
yes. So it happened to my brother. He got a new Benz. He thought he was like chilling. They took one of his cars. Like, nope, we're coming for this one too, unless you pay the tickets off. So take that number I gave y'all. Okay, this last story. Former Philadelphia DA Seth Williams. I wanted to know what was going on with him, and I found out. One of the city's top law enforcement officials, which was our former Philadelphia DA, Seth Williams, he's now an inmate, federal inmate. And
interesting.
Yes, he pleaded guilty to robbery charges tied to accepting luxury gifts, cash, and even all expense-paid trips from a businessman for political favors. For those who may not know, back in 2017, federal prosecutor Williams sold the office of the DA for personal gain, making him the first sitting Philadelphia DA ever convicted of a crime. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, and as one prosecutor put it, no one is above the law, not even the DA. After serving time in federal prison for corruption, former Philadelphia DA Seth Williams is now inside the system, the one he once ran. He's now working as a part-time chaplain inside the Riverside Correctional Facility. Wow. He's offering spiritual counseling and career classes to incarcerated men. He's earning about $21 an hour. Williams says that this was the best use of my experience is helping people who are incarcerated the way I was, adding that after prosecuting people, he has become one himself. He now wants to help reduce recidivism from the inside.
Wow. I actually love that part of it, though. I mean, he's going to have a story when he's done. So, I mean, it is what it is.
It's fall from grace. And I think sometimes humble pie is something else,
Really is.
And when you're at the top, you really, at least for me, my spirituality has to know that you're only there because not of yourself. And when you get there and you forget, it's a fall coming down, and when you get down, sometimes you have to start saying, hey, who can I help? And it looks like he got it. So yeah, so shout out to Seth Williams. I think a lot of people in politics, as even our previous guest was saying, a lot of them have had dirty hands, and some got away, some didn't. What was the lady's name from the 90s? The previous DA. Do you remember?
Lynn Abraham.
Lynn, yeah. So
she's a monster.
That was like, I mean, just speaking about a lot of people who, they have a lot of indictment of, previous, officers and everything. So some got away, some didn't, but karma finds you sometimes in health and everything else. But that was your good news and your bad news from your girl, Classy Lady Sparkle.
And that was the good news and bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle. I'm your boy, Charles Gerger, with the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
You got something for me?
Sure.
Holla at me early. Yeah.
So we're just going to follow up on the aftermath of the president's removal of historic panels and some other items, which actually happened across the nation. As a reminder, locally here in January 2026, we learned of an executive order that was issued that forced park staff to remove a slavery exhibit that depicted the history and names of 9 slaves who were owned by President Washington and who lived there in the 1790s. In response to this, the city of Philadelphia filed a lawsuit against the federal government's Interior Department. So what happened? Because they did go to court. Here's some answers to what happened in court that were publicly released. At that hearing, Philadelphia city officials represented that the law was broken in that removal process. So what they were alluding to was this background information that in 2010, the panels were erected as a part of an agreement that included the city and the park. So essentially, this action now is an intrusion on their agreement from 2010. So a third party going ahead to infringe on what was already contractually agreed between these other parties. So the city requested the courts to restore the historic panels. Then we find out on Monday, February 16, which is the federal holiday President's Day, in commemoration in part for President Washington, a federal judge granted the city's request and issued an injunction to temporarily block the changes or the removal in order that they restore them in the same physical state that they were in the day before the removal, which was January 21st. The judge called the administration's argument that a president could unilaterally order changes to exhibits displayed in national parks, both, and in quotations, horrifying and dangerous. The matter is still in litigation. But after the order went out that same night, the Interior Department put out notices that they were filing an injunction of that order the same night, and they did. Now, just briefly, I'd like to take a moment and pause and talk about timing. This is all going on during Black History Month. Mm-hmm. The ruling came out on President's Day, again, in commemoration of President Washington himself. But on the following morning, on Tuesday, February 17th, our nation was hit with the death of civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson, whose services were just held. There was one on March 2nd and then another one on March 6th in Chicago, the final service. Just ask that we take about 15 seconds as a moment of silence in reverence of his life and his work. All right, thank you, everyone. And now back to the story. Remember that appeal was filed, right? They had a 5 p.m. deadline to restore the panels. What was going on with the restoration of the panels that day? The federal government won what's called a stay of execution, which meant that they did not have to fully restore the displays. So while they had been in the process of erecting some of the displays, some of them didn't go up. And they learned that some of them had been damaged in the process of the removal and the storing, and that they had a plan to kind of restore the damaged panels and then put them up. But we learned that with that stay, that didn't happen. They still have not been put up. The stay that went into place did say that those panels that did not go up had to still be preserved while it's still in the appellate litigation. So some Philadelphians have been highlighting the fact that this year, Philly celebrates 250 years. And this year, many tourists are expected to come to our city in celebration of our local history. And they been posing a question, well, shouldn't our history be an accurate representation of our history? Hint, hint, the panels and how they were removed. And there were rumors that some other panels will be going up to display a different version of history. That is just some food for thought about how we're preparing for our birthday. And we have a little discrepancy on what our actual history is. That's story number one. We have time for another?
Nah,
That's fine.
I guess it's here, but what I go ahead.
Go. No, I'll wait.
No, because I want her to give her closing argument. I'm about to put her on a sheet.
All right, so here's the thing. Whenever there's active litigation, I cannot weigh in on it
because it's still going on.
There you go. Yep. There you go. All right, holla at me, Shizzle. What's up?
Well, what I would say is that I was very angry because I did attend, I just want to give a shout out to NABJ Philly, the National Association of Black Journalists, Philadelphia. I did attend their March member meeting on this past Wednesday, where we had attorney
Michael Cord.
And sorry, I apologize for that. My mind is just all over the place.
The angriest black man.
Yes, the angriest black man in America. I don't know how that. I just had like a brain
Yeah,
but we had attorney Michael Cord there, who spoke so powerfully and so eloquently about that whole thing, about the process and how he started at WHAT, which is now WRD, and back in 2002, and how they started the ATAC
attack.
Yes, he laid out that whole story, and it was just powerful. And then and I'll make a long story short. And after that, I took it upon myself when I left the meeting to go across the street and take a look for myself, because now that I no longer work directly down here, downtown, I wanted to see for myself. And it was dark, but I saw enough, and I was extremely angry because it's still not restored. So you still see what they took down, and then you put up one little panel, and then it's stuff missing, and it's just a mess. It's a mess. And I was extremely angry, and
why not just put up what they took down? Where is it?
Exactly.
So they were in the process of doing that by the 5 p.m. deadline, but right before the deadline hit, the appellate court, which is the higher court that they appealed to, issued this stay, like pause your work, stop. What's up there has to stay, but the rest of it you have to preserve until we finish our litigation.
Right.
And shout out to some of the people who were down there reading, because I went by there a few times, and it was some citizens, some concerned people from the community actually reading the names and writing on there just for people to remember that these were people here, and we're never going to forget. So shout out to the community. A lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying that you can't erase history.
That's right.
And Michael Cord said that just the fact that this administration had, if he had been silent and not said anything about it, nobody would even be thinking about the president's house. But the fact that he brought it up, it has put so much attention on it that, and I'll just say it in his words, but not verbatim, that now you have what he's saying is like little old white ladies and then you have Jewish men, and you have Muslim men, and people that would never come together are coming together to protest in some kind of form against what they are doing with the president's house.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. So you got some footage, right?
I did have some footage. Let's see. Because I saw one of what you were speaking of, where Michael Cord bore a bunch of religious leaders and officials together down there, and everyone from every background, every creed, every ethical background spoke so well and so eloquently in defense of preserving our Black history. Right. It was beautiful to watch. I'm pretty sure people shed tears in the variety of people who showed up. People, you would never expect that people stand up for Black people in this regard, but to watch it live and to watch the sincerity of it was very emotional. I'm so proud that everybody came together together to support us, especially during Black History Month.
That's right.
Nice.
And Sizzle had the opportunity to go down there and get some of that footage. And I want y'all to stay tuned because I say within the next week, we'll put it up on the site so you can actually see some of the conversations in the panel and everything that was happening, especially with Michael Kors and the location too. Right. And so you'll be able to see all of that good old stuff. This is We Talk Weekly. This is what we do all day, every day. Something else you want to talk to me about?
I can talk about what's going on with the school district.
All right, let's go through that real quick, and then we're going to bring on our guests.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So while the city of Philadelphia was having one battle, another battle was also going on, and that was the school district of Philadelphia's superintendent's proposal to the city about closing approximately 20 schools, revamping another 159, and having some perhaps given to the city for housing or for businesses. There have been several things that have happened regarding this. One of those things were that the city actually, community members had actually gathered together on February 26th for a meeting that was supposed to take place at 4:00, and it did. Before that meeting, lots of community members, teachers, administrators, maintenance workers, everybody protested outside of that meeting. That was at 3:30, and the meeting was scheduled at 4:00. And this is after a series of meetings had already been happening, but this was the big meeting where the board was scheduled to vote on whether or not this would pass. So while I didn't attend, I did talk to some people who did attend that meeting. They said that it was a very, very long night, an emotional night, a very intense night. Emotions were high, and people did not take it on the superintendent, take it easy on the superintendent, such they actually felt bad for him afterwards, having to go up against somewhat a lot of opposition, regardless of whether people agree with him or not. That was a very, very hot and heavy seat to be in. But what stood out to me what most resonated were the students who showed up and made their own pleas about their education and their futures. Nice. And guess what happened? 2 of those schools actually won their fight. Wow. Motivation High School and Conwell Middle School were both set to close. That's right. Give these kids their props.
Yes.
But they have now been removed from the school closure list, reducing that list from 20 schools to 18 schools. The next meeting is scheduled for March 12th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Now, these meetings are open to the public, just as they are when the city council meets. So you are welcome to attend, community members, parents, whoever. I did just want to highlight that this also happened during Black History Month. So I was very happy and proud to see people using their voices in hopes of magnifying the issues that they perceive around them so that those issues are not overlooked. And in these very 2 instances, in some ways, they actually prevail. So kudos to everybody who was out here fighting for their rights.
Mm-hmm. I love our youth. Our youth been doing the business, man. I'm telling you, these kids are the future. They're smarter than a lot of people even understand and believe. Sometimes just ask them the questions. They'll surprise you. So fantastic. You done with the tea? Absolutely. Other than that, happy belated Black History Month, but also we are now celebrating Women's History Month. Please find yourself a woman warrior and say thank you and congratulations for her work all month long. All right, so I'll say that right now to my team here on We Talk Weekly. Thank y'all. Really appreciate y'all. And I'm going to have to hear y'all all month long. No doubt. So I don't want y'all to go anywhere. I think that's an excellent transition to go to some of our young youth civic leaders and some of our youth civic news, our reporters from there. And when we come back, we got a dynamic interview. We got a jam-packed show. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this show.
Hi, I'm Willow Jordan with Youth Civic News, and I'm here with my grandfather,
Willie Jordan.
And G-Pop, what brings you out tonight?
Well, I'm here to discuss the importance of the election that's coming up, and important of responsibility that we have to do is get out to vote.
What is your role?
I wear many hats, but one is a community activist, and that means to keep people aware and make them informed on the issues of the day so they can come out and make a real good choice on voting for the right candidates.
What are some of the issues you see?
Housing, education, transportation. There's a lot of things. Anything that we do in our lives has to do with elections, politicians, elected officials making those decisions. The amount of time that you stay in school and the amount of days you stay in school is based on what some elected official came up with.
How important is it to vote?
It is very important. It's not just important, it's responsible. Voting is not a selfish activity. It's a selfless. You vote to help others. So as you help others, people help you, and it'll be a better world, a better city, a better country to live in.
Where do some of your beliefs come from?
Well, my belief is based on, I guess, I would first come from my home training. My parents told me the importance of civic responsibility, caring, loving, sharing, being involved, being responsible on your actions.
Is there any positive knowledge you would give to the people who don't vote?
I would tell them, if they can't come up with a reason why they should vote for themselves, come up with a reason why they should vote for someone else, for their parents, for their children, for more street lights, how they want a better community. Do it for someone else.
I'm Willow Jordan, reporting from U Civic News, and I'm here with my grandfather, Willie Jordan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shout out to our young reporters out there. I love our youth, man. They doing some great work. You know, you got a young one out there that's interested in learning anything about journalism. Holla at us. We got Lauren Sizzle out there. She loves working with the youth for Youth Civic News. Shout out to the twins out. Shout out to everybody who's doing the work out there in those streets. So we ready for our next guest?
Yes.
Who's doing the honors? Holla at me.
All right. Well, I am proud to announce that we have Sonni Graham. She's an educator, an athletic director, a performer with more than 20 years of experience, a graduate of TU and Clark Atlanta University. She's danced in the NBA, toured nationally as a vocalist with Kindred the Family Soul, and so much more. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Sonni Graham.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get your mic right. Let me see.
Okay.
There you go.
It sounded crisp to me. Okay.
No doubt, no doubt. So first, we like to start out with our guest to ask, how was your day?
Oh, my day has been great. It's been long, but I was actually in a Juneteenth meeting today. So we had our one of our many in-person meetings to do the run of show for the events for Juneteenth.
And it's fast approaching.
It's coming.
National holiday.
Yeah.
Came fast.
And since we're already there, because I didn't want to jump in it, because I want to talk about you a little bit, because this is the portion of the show where we, try to amplify the good old folks that's out there. And we're in, I guess now that since we're in Women's History Month right now, I gotta give you a shout out.
I'm trying to throw that away.
I know,
now,
right?
Okay.
Shout out to the sister. Shout out to you, all the good old work that you're doing. So let's start from day one. Let's start from the Temple days, right? What a lot of people don't know, me and Sonny got a little history here.
Yeah.
We go way back. So let's talk a little bit about, what got you into arts, entertainment, things of that nature.
I started in the arts ever since I can walk. I've been a dancer. I've been in national television commercials. I've been on TV. I've danced in the NBA. I sing with Kindred the Family Soul. I've been singing with them for like 20 years. I've been in the arts forever. And then I took my love for the arts and I put that into education and started teaching. And now I am a longtime educator and athletic director for Mastery Charter Schools and the executive producer for the Philadelphia Juneteenth Parade and the Pennsylvania Juneteenth Scholarship Pageant.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's before we get into Juneteenth, the parade, I do want to talk about the pageant, the young ones that's been doing some amazing work and so talented, right? What inspired the pageant first and foremost, and how long has it been?
Well, this will be year 4 for the pageant.
Right.
What brought the pageant on was that we first and foremost, the Pennsylvania Juneteenth Initiative, which is the producers of the Philadelphia Juneteenth Parade and Festival. We always want to give back outside of just the parade, right? It's not just about the parade. It's not just about the festival. How else can we give back to our community? And one of those things were to create a place for young people to be able to express themselves and showcase their talents and their intellect. And what better way to do that than to have a pageant? So we have a Pennsylvania Juneteenth scholarship pageant. We give away scholarships. We give away small prizes. But it's also an opportunity for us to kind of big up our youth and give them a platform to be showcased. So this is year 4 for the pageant. And this year's pageant is on June 6th. It's at the Kroc Center. And we are also we have our first boy, so we have a king who won last year, and we opened it up to both young ladies and to young men. So he's actually doing really, really great. He's at Coppin State University.
Oh, nice.
He's a freshman this year, and our Miss Juneteenth Pennsylvania is on her way to an HBCU. She's trying to get into Howard. So we're helping her in that process, and she is awesome. She's a writer. Just wrote a fantastic article about the big beautiful bill, which will be put in the Sunday Sun. So it's just a really great way for us to give our young people in Pennsylvania some shine and some showcase.
Wow, a lot of talent out of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Awesome. Education, I hear entertainment. Like, how did those two worlds meet, and what shaped you the most, if any?
I always said that, how do I take what I love the most and pass it on to young people, but help them shape themselves in a way where they can make money and survive off of it? As we all know, the arts is not right. It's
struggling.
Right. It's always a struggle when it comes to the arts, but I found an in education. And so my goal is always to help aspiring artists, to say to young people, like, you want to be a dancer, let me show you what to do to become a great dancer, but let me show you how to make money. Right. Like, there are 1,000 things that you can do in the arts. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in the forefront. You can be a producer, you can be a lighting director, you can be a writer, you can be a sound producer, you can be an engineer. So I always wanted to figure out a way to teach young people how to stay in the arts, but how to survive in the arts. And that's kind of how those two worlds collided.
Awesome.
Sonni, where was you when I was in college? Inheritance, because I don't see any financial gain from it. So I decided to do something different, and I went to law school where I might be able to see. But it bothers me at this age that there wasn't a way for me to kind of do both. But I really appreciate your work. It is definitely needed.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised how much kids don't understand or know the knowledge of the things that you can do behind the scenes and how much money you can make behind the scenes. So yeah,
I think it's important that you're showing them that, because now when you see so many different, especially when it comes to child actors and entertainers, a lot of the dark side of entertainment in Hollywood, and the stories that are coming out now with that we didn't know like what's going on, and you just see this child star and why are they going through what they're going through now, and then you learn that something happened to them when they were a child. So it's important that they have you showing them the ropes and training them and training them up the way this should go. You know what I mean? So I think that's important. Awesome.
And speaking of that, not so much of the dark side, but what was the sacrifices that you had to make in order to accomplish these many accomplishments?
Well, if I could be a dancer forever and just choreograph dances all day long and be in videos and be on the NBA court dancing and survive, I would. But I can't. So some of the sacrifices to me were, you gotta find another route. You gotta find another pathway to survival and staying in the arts. And I guess at the same time, it's not really a struggle. I went back to school. I got my master's in education leadership. I figured out, like, how do I mend the two? How do I stay in what I'm doing you know, and still move forward. But I think it's a struggle always to not be able to just be a singer or a dancer and that's it. But unfortunately, in this day and age, if you're not super famous and super rich, you're not going to survive that way.
Right.
So, you know, I think my struggle has always been just, you know, I just want to perform. I just want to be on the stage.
Well, I would do it would be a disjustice, or I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about where you came from.
Oh Lord.
Right. So we gotta talk about Mom Dukes. Why don't you, you know, intro her, and you know, because you're talking about Black excellence right there. Why don't you talk a little bit about her and amplify her a little bit, because I think a lot of who she is rubbed off on you, you know, and so she's just a dope person. So I just want you to talk a little bit about Mom.
That's my mama. My mother is Helen Salahuddin. She is an entertainment attorney. She is she started a nonprofit with my dad, Ali Salahuddin, called African Genesis, where they took thousands of kids to Africa for free in an effort for them to learn about themselves and learn about the continent. And she is the COO of Juneteenth. My mom is bomb.com. My mom is bomb.com. My mama is the truth. She's just, you know, she's just a stellar person who's been a stellar person in Philadelphia for a long time. She's a pioneer of a lot of things.
That's right.
And it speaks volume when you could be a mother to your children and then mother to other children.
That's right.
That's when you know.
That's her. We call her Mama Helen. They call her Mama Helen.
That's when you know God is in you, because you're not just loving on your own. You know what I mean? And that's what love is. You know. Athletics. We got a lot of different athletes coming up, and one that I'm gonna specifically talk about is Clarissa Shields. Young woman. I just seen her last fight. I mean, she was in there. It was almost like
the GOAT.
The GOAT, right? It was phenomenal seeing, even though the young lady she was fighting. But there is a finesse of, you know, media literacy, having conversation, knowing how to build your brand. What would you tell Clarissa or young women such as that are coming out that may have a disdain against them, or how media looks at them, or how do they navigate that?
When I think about that question, I think about, and I guess I'm telling my age a little bit when I say this, but I think about back in the day when you used to be in the entertainment industry and you had to be groomed, right, to be on TV.
Media training, that's right.
Media training to be on TV, and especially as an athletic director and being around the children now and understanding all the talent that I have around me, to just media training is a thing.
Decorum for
it's a decorum to how you are and what you are, and you want longevity. And if you want longevity in what you do, you always have to think about what you're saying and what you're doing and who's watching you. And so I think that it would be important to say, get some training, get some media training, make sure you're watching what you're doing. Remember who people are watching you. You don't know who they are. But media training, that's what I would say. I would say, make sure you get some training.
And that said, it could be a possibility that she knows what she's doing, right? And so some people say bad press is still press.
Well, it's a different time too.
I know that's right. That's true too. That's true. I want to pull up this comment real quick, because a Diamond Black, shout out to Diamond Black, said Happy Women's Day or Happy Women's History Month.
Yes, tomorrow is that Women's Day,
the 8th international.
International Women's Day.
Yeah, I'm giving y'all. I'm gonna hear this all month.
That's all right. That's all right, Charles.
I mean, to think about that, women couldn't get a job, couldn't vote, and then if you're a Black woman, it was even you were more impressed. So it's like a 3 strike with being a Black woman. So, but think about that.
I think about, you know, shout out to y'all all day. Y'all deserve all y'all props. I ain't arguing that. No, for sure. And so we talked a little bit about moms, you know, even, you know, Pop, because Pops, he has a legacy. Why don't you talk a little bit about the brother too? Because he's a boss, he's a king, and he's been in he's a legacy. He's the legacy of
so Ali Salahuddin, he's passed now. But he's the beginning of Juneteenth.
That's right.
In Philadelphia. him and Michael Rashid. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you all know who Michael Rashid is. Started Juneteenth parade a long time ago, side by side with Kenny Gamble. And the idea was originally we wanted to create something that was cultural in Philadelphia, and they always wanted to do something for Juneteenth, and started the Juneteenth parade and festival actually downtown. And eventually we're like, why are we doing this downtown? This makes no, it didn't make sense. We weren't bringing in any Black dollars. Nobody Black was making any money off of it. Where can we go now to bring Black dollars in the Black community and make dollars make sense? And we came to West Philly. We went to 52nd Street on the Black business corridor. And he's the pioneer, him and Michael Rashid. They started that.
Awesome.
That's the beginning of the Juneteenth parade.
And tell us
festival.
how big and now how amplified it is now.
Oh, I say it all the time. Philadelphia Juneteenth Parade and Festival is the largest Juneteenth festival and parade in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and it travels from.
It goes from, so we start at 52nd and South Concourse is where the man is. And it goes all the way down 52nd Street and we stop at the Malcolm X Park. Huge festival, lots of food. We have a children's village, or we'll call it children's. We call it the Kids Pavilion now. We have the Kids Pavilion. We have a concert. This year we're featuring Lady Alma. Our Grand Marshal this year. Yeah, lady, my girl.
Yes, my girl.
This year's Grand Marshal is D Jazzy Jeff.
Okay.
We're gonna have a good time
last
every year,
right? Didn't we cover last year?
Yep.
Yeah. To know that your family, you're the legacy of the beginning of Juneteenth. That's major.
Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah, it has to. Like,
yes,
honor
it's a good time. So make sure you're there.
I'll be there.
Make sure you're there.
I had the opportunity to be on a float about 2 years ago, and I missed it because I got sick. But I'll be around.
All right. Well, we're waiting for you this year.
But also, and before we go on, a lot of people have just really start to learn what Juneteenth is and not even pronouncing it correctly. Can you tell us what Juneteenth is and why it's observed?
So in Galveston, Texas, there were slaves that were there that did not know that they were free. And they had been free for 250 years. And there was a lieutenant that came to Galveston and they had to let them know, you're free. And you don't have to be doing this anymore. And so that became an actual holiday or an actual day to be remembered. And that's what Juneteenth is.
And sadly, they didn't know they were free because they wanted to continue slavery for free labor. And across the world, other slaves, quote unquote, free, but unfree, because you're still
right.
Yeah, you're still trying to
the
make
mentality of it. Right.
But to know they worked all that to be in that type of, arrested development and not thinking they didn't have freedom. I don't know if it's a quote that they say Harriet Tubman says. I haven't fact checked it, but she said I could have freed more slaves only if they were free. But yeah, that's
fitting.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the increase of support once the former President Biden signed, made it a federal holiday. What was the difference in the level of support?
Believe it or not, I feel like the level of support did never change. I feel like it's always been the same. I think people are very supportive. We've always had great support from sponsors, from the city of Philadelphia, from organizations. I mean, it's always been heavily supported,
and more crowds coming out now that they're aware.
Now that they're aware of it, and especially being in the community, people are coming outside. They got their Juneteenth decorations on their houses now. Everybody's got flags, so it's always been like a day of unity, and I don't feel like it's ever been a thing where it wasn't supported heavily.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, tell us more about you, your duo with Kendrick, the Family Soul. Tell us how that became, and
that's going to be a hilarious story. Okay, is going to have a fit. So how I know Kendrick is before Kendrick was Kendrick, when Fatine was in high school, my mother was his manager, and he had a singing group with I can't remember the name of the group now, but he was in a singing group, and my mother managed him. And then eventually he kind of rolled on. And I mean, I have a lot of relationships with a lot of people in Philadelphia, the Roots and such. And we just always, he's like my brother. Like we were always like hip to hip. And then he married Aja, that's my sister. And then when they got together, they were like, we gonna do this thing and we gonna have a band. And it was about five background singers, then 4 background singers, then 3 background singers, then 5 background singers. But I've been singing with them since it started. And got an opportunity to travel the world with them. And still singing with them.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I want to circle back to Juneteenth, because you've been also traveling and bringing Miss Juneteenth, right? So you have like little Miss Juneteenth. You got June. Let's talk a little bit about that graduation of Mrs. right when it comes to that. Yeah, for sure.
So we do a little Miss Juneteenth, we do a junior Miss Juneteenth, and then we have Miss Juneteenth.
Okay.
And so I feel like it's fitting because it helps us kind of walk through the stages of life with them. We don't just give them a crown and then they walk away. We are there with them through everything. I mean, even now with our king who is at Coppin State, we send him food and snacks and sweatshirts, and so I think it's an opportunity for us to not only like name that you're a queen, but we're going to also walk through life with you and help you through hard times, or anytime you need something, or now it's time for school, let me help you get into school, or whatever that looks like. It's just an opportunity for us to walk through life with them, not just in the moment.
And how does one get, like the sisters, the young ladies that want to be involved in the whole how is that process?
So you can go onto the website, and that's for the parade too. Anybody wants to be a part of the parade, you just go on to www.juneteenthphilly.org, go to participate, click the link, all the opportunities for you to participate if you want to be a volunteer, if you want to be in the parade, or if you're interested in putting a young person into the pageant, you just go onto the website, click the link, and apply.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, why don't you expand on how the ladies are judged? What are they judged on in that full process?
So we do, they have to write an essay about Juneteenth. We judge them on their, we call it their opening. So they have like a moment where they're, hi, my name is, and I'm your Miss Juneteenth, because it gives them an opportunity to kind of showcase who they are. So we call that the opening or the introductions. We do a talent section where they get to show us their talent. We do a question and answer. So they don't know what the questions are going to be. They have to be able to think on the spot and answer the question on the spot. And then we do an evening wear. So those are all of the categories that they're judged on. The essay portion is for the older ones. So we do that with Miss and King because they're 15 to 18, and it has to be, standard at college formed essay that they turn in, and those are the categories.
But pulling back the layers, this is resilience, this is confidence, like this is things that sadly some are not getting this at home. And this is allowing them to have that moment of public speaking, of etiquette, of
and I'm glad you said that too, because that's part of what they do, because we don't, even when we have the participants, and there's the pageant, but there's a prep. So we use a whole month, the whole month of April and May, we are prepping them. We're giving them public speaking classes, we're teaching them how to walk, we're giving them lessons on what Juneteenth means. We're talking about community. We're doing team bonding. So it's more than just the pageant. And I dare to say too, a lot of the ones, if you're not winning, you're still winning.
Yes, right. Yeah,
you're still winning.
You got all of that. Yeah.
Absolutely, you're still winning. You're getting everything you can get to become better and to become more confident and to become, to add those nuggets of knowledge to you. So.
Kudos to you, your family, all of your team. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's just amazing.
I appreciate it.
That's what giving back is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. So I know your parents are extremely proud that you kept that legacy going.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to talk a little bit more about the process, right? Because I know it's people actually watching, and some of the youth that potentially want to be a part of that. So is there a safe example, a deadline for them
Yes.
to be? Yeah. So that I want you
So
to elaborate on that. Yeah.
the deadline is March 29th to apply.
It's coming up.
It's coming up.
Mhm.
It's coming
Wow.
up because we're right around the corner. We're
Yeah.
getting ready to roll into April.
It's
Deadline is,
crazy.
I know, right? Deadline is March 29th. You have to have your report card. You have to send your report card in. We have to prove that you're in the state of Pennsylvania. Believe it or not, when you do pageants, you have to be a resident of Pennsylvania. So we need proof of residency. We need proof that you're doing great in school. So we ask for report cards or for the latest report cards. And everything else is just, basic information. And again, you just go onto the website and you fill out that application and get it in by March 29th.
What about the mentors? How about that? Are you all looking for them? And if so, how do you join?
I never turn mentors away. What we do is workshops throughout the 2 months before we prepare, and we already have our workshop, our mentors in place. Okay. But I never turn them away.
So they could just go to the website.
They could go to the website as well. They can put in for a volunteer or whatever that looks like. Or you can, if you know Hope. Hope is our shout out to Hope. Hope is our volunteer coordinator. You can always go online and go under volunteer, sign up to be a volunteer. We any way that we can get a mentor, even if it's the day of, right, we'll take them.
So ages, right? As they all have the same deadline, right? And so break down the ages real quick.
7 to 18.
7
so
to
as
18.
young as 7 and as old as 18.
So the categories, like Little Miss, is from what to what? The age.
So your categories are 7 to 9,
right,
and then you go 10 to 12,
okay,
and then 13 to 18. Now that can always,
that's a big gap, right?
But it could always change.
Okay.
And then we've done it for 4 years. I feel like 2 of those years it changed based on the ages that we got. Right.
Gotcha,
So if you don't get, like, for instance, 1 year we didn't get any 7-year-olds. We only got 8, 9, and 10. So we changed Little Miss to 8, 9, 10, and then we went 11 to 13, and then 14 to 18. So it really depends on the ages that we get.
Yeah, fantastic. I had the opportunity to judge.
Yes, he
one.
did. Yes, he did. We're just waiting for him to come to bring his fashion sense.
No, but it was an amazing time. I'm always amazed, right? Which I shouldn't be, because it's no, it's kind of like, we know that they're talented. We know that they have the talent, but I'm always amazed to see that much talent, right? And these little girls, these little sisters, these little young women are doing some amazing work. Seeing their skits, they're doing like full skits. They're remembering, they're talking about, their classes, their grades, they're talking about the process, right? Yeah. And one thing that, Kobe always said, he said, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And that's what I like about the Juneteenth pageant, right? It's a journey that they take these young ladies on. It's not just, come to the pageant, be cute, and see if you win. They're doing, fundamentals. They're doing, they're learning certain things. It's just an amazing thing. And so I usually we can't like call to action, but what I will say is that the pageant is just an amazing thing, amazing experience for these young ladies. And so how do they get in contact with you to do that again?
Go online, go to www.juneteenthphilly.org, go under participate, click on that link for the pageant, fill out the application, and press send.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, for those who want to be, let's talk a little bit about the floats, right? An organization potentially that want to be a part of that. How does that work?
So floats are a little different. Floats are usually sponsored.
Right.
And if you want to float, then you can also go on to www.juneteenthphilly.org, and you can go under sponsors or sponsorship, and you can always sign up for more information about sponsorships. Our sponsor packet is also online. That gives you all the information about sponsoring a float or being on a float. But you could be in the parade too.
There you go.
There's many opportunities to be in the parade. You don't have to be on a float. You can march. You can walk.
It was a party.
And
it was raining, and we still had a party. I was like, I thought people was going to leave. They was like, no, wait until the rain stops.
It is literally a party.
It was a party.
That's what it is.
It was a party. I was a part of the party.
That's right.
It was nice.
That's right. It's a time. We had a time.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Quinta? I thought you had a question.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
I was agreeing.
She was agreeing it was a party.
It definitely was a party.
It was hot.
Yeah. I mean, if you actually, I pulled up some footage as we continue the conversation, but we Talk Weekly had the opportunity to be there and cover the full parade, and potentially we may be there again. We're just trying to wait to hear something.
We're not talking potentially. Okay.
So what can people expect this year when they come out?
I always say, well, listen, we have marching bands, drum lines, dance teams, nonprofit organizations. Come see Jazzy Jeff while he drives down the street. We have Lady Alma performing at the end. We have loads of vendors. We have food. We just finished. I mean, we are literally, I think we get room for 18 vendors. We booked 17 already.
Wow.
The food is going to be amazing. It's always great stuff when it comes to the vendors to buy. It's just a time.
Yes.
It's literally, when you say it's a party, it's literally a party.
Had classic cars.
We have a car show.
Yeah. Support for the kids. It was so much.
A children's village. We have it. It's just something for everyone. And we just have a good time. Radio 1 will be out there. We have the basement party with Lady B and Touch Tone. We have a good time.
It's gonna be a movie.
It's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie.
Yes.
And so what you're seeing is a little footage right there from, let's see if we can see some of the people, some of the floats that was actually down there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that it was a time and you don't want to, it actually rained a little bit. I think
it was storming. People didn't go nowhere.
It meant nothing.
And then the sun came out and said, "I'm just."
And let me say, that is the very first. We have been doing Juneteenth now for years. That is the first time it's ever rained.
It didn't stop,
and it didn't stop a thing.
Yeah. What are your highlights on Juneteenth?
Well, when you say that, you mean the parade, or you mean
anything? Like, what stands out? What do you look out for? Of course, the whole thing. We get it. I get it. But what's one of the things that you love to say? Like, I can't wait to see. Which one of your favorite parts?
Here's what I always say.
Right.
I always say that the parade for me is when you can see. You can't see what you can't. You can't be what you can't see. Right? It's an opportunity for young people to see Black excellence come down your street, right? And you can say, I can do that. I can be that. I can be a queen. I could be a AKA. I can be a exec from Pico. It's Black excellence coming down 52nd Street. That's the best part of it all. And sometimes we don't get to see that all the time. You don't get to know, like, oh wow, she owns that business. This is Black excellence coming down the street that are people of all different types of organizations and businesses. That's what I like to say.
And can I add to that too? Just from observing it, I'm from up Mount Airy, but my family is all in Southwest, and all around the neighborhood. So I've walked those streets, many times throughout the years, and it's the networking. Do you know how many people I've saw that I didn't see for years that I was like, oh, they go so-and-so. And then just people that you're walking up to that are selling sea moss or different types of all natural stuff. And they're like, hey, my sister, here's a card, and then now you've made a connection. So it was about the whole thing that you said. And then it was about the networking, seeing each other with your melanin and your shea butter and all types of shades.
Like a huge family reunion.
The beautiful thing, there was not a fight.
Nope.
There was no commotion.
Nope.
There was no altercation.
Yep.
And I'm talking, it was packed.
Yep.
The way we had to get out, it was like bumper to bumper, but everything was in harmony. So all of what you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's unity.
Yeah. And shout out to Vincent Hughes. I mean, you can actually go to
one of our biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Vincent
And
Hughes.
he's been, I mean, we had opportunity to actually interview him during the parade, and he had so much great things to say about just Juneteenth and the legacy of Juneteenth, so much so that he stayed in our booth. I'm like, yo, you can get out now. You see, I'm not sitting there. He took over. He just sat in my mic. You go ahead. You senator, go ahead, take it. And so so it was a great opportunity to be here and see so many people who actually was just there, and all it's just a time that the community actually come together and just be a part of an amazing time. I would like to see more schools that's walking in a parade. There was a few. There was a few. I would love to see a concerted effort to get more of the school bands, the cheerleaders and everything to walk in that parade.
It sounds to me like you might be helping us.
Oh, goodness
Does that sound like?
Yeah, you asking for a job.
I would love to. Listen. I'm for the young people. I want to see. I want to see that too. So you got any ideas?
Oh, that look at this. Get out my mic, man. Jesus. No, shout out to Senator Vincent Hughes, though. I like, he's very animated, great guy.
He's very cool. He's there every year. He's our biggest supporter.
For sure. Yeah. No doubt. So is there anything that we didn't cover when it comes to Juneteenth? Because I know you came to, amplify such an amazing event. This was Citadel. This was look at the kids right there. I mean, you're talking about people in the community that just kind of got together. And one thing that I need to amplify and talk about, because how certain outlets, legacy media, if it bleeds, it leads. But guess what? It was no bleeding.
No.
Right? It was just love, right? And so that's what I like to do when it comes to the people. Like there were no altercations, no fights. You're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people. No problems, right? Oftentimes that doesn't happen, but nobody said anything about that, right? And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, right? And so how does it feel right now to be how long have Juneteenth, how long has it been?
It's been on 52nd Street now. It's been since 2019 was the first year.
Wow. So how does it feel to know that it's been that long and that successful?
Like the love of that, to know that you can have an event that large at that scale and not have an altercation is awesome. But I think it just speaks to what it's about. It's a cultural event. And I think that everybody's there in love and unity. It's just, we've been blessed to have a positive event for a very long time.
And sadly, it's the narrative is pushed that our people, are on top of each other like that, but they're not. When we have unification and unity, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that that's pushed, but it's it is what it is. But for something that of this magnitude, and it's not even just localized. I mean, it's a traveling, like they're literally walking from down to that's not a small thing. And then a lot of the traffic has to stop, bus routes have to stop, a lot of stuff,
and
has
that's
to
a rolling parade.
Like
it doesn't, we don't block off the sides. Once the parade goes, everything just continues to go.
Oh wow.
So
and that takes a lot of coordination to get all of that, permits and conversations and calls.
It's a lot of work.
Now let me ask you, with the mayor now, with Sherelle Parker, first Black woman, 100th mayor, has that had to be coordinated as well with her team in regards to?
It's always a coordination with the city of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Right. Sherelle's one of our biggest supporters as well too. She was actually our grand marshal one year. She came last year. So we always coordinate with the city of Philadelphia. We always say that's our major sponsor. So
wonderful.
Fantastic. Is there anything that we didn't cover you feel like the people need to know about? The parade, Juneteenth, the festival, all of that?
Well, I mean, I think we covered everything, but I want to see faces down that parade route. We want to see you come out. We want you to have a barbecue on your steps while the marching band is walking down the street.
Yes.
We want to see more people come out and enjoy the actual parade route. So if I were to say anything, I would say come outside and enjoy seeing Black excellence roll down 52nd Street.
Fantastic. Catch us outside, right?
Catch me outside.
I guess the last thing before I let you go, and you give all your information, I want to talk a little bit about Malcolm X Park. Yeah, and that's where it is. And so I want to know the significance of that, why y'all decided to kind of end there, right? Because that's where it ends. But the hundreds of organizations that's within the park.
Well, as I said earlier, 52nd Street period is the Black business corridor. Whenever I think about 52nd Street, I think about my mom. She always tells me, a lot of my family members are from West Philly. She always tells me stories about how her parents would take her on 52nd Street to buy shoes and get her hair done. That was what it was.
Yes.
So it's a major business corridor, first of all, 52nd Street. And so I just think that the joy in knowing that at the end of 52nd Street is Malcolm X Park is kind of like, like that's perfection. You can't get no better than that. So that, I think just having Malcolm X Park is just awesome. But inside of the park, again, we got vendors. We also do yoga in the morning. We got arts, crafts for the kids. We have an art museum where we sell art in the park. Again, we got food. We have a lot of vendors selling lots of different things. There's a little pavilion in the park that has like a little awning, and they party under the awning. Okay, the DJ under there. It's all kind of stuff happening in that park. That park is a party in its own, under its own. So there's lots of things happening in the park, and then on the sides of the park as well. So the Malcolm X is popping.
I know that's right. Shout out to the sisters out there doing double dutch too. They had their own
Philly
little
girls
section.
jump.
Philly girls jump right
Every year.
I mean, look, I love my people. I love
every year.
Philly is just a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's just a vibe.
I agree.
And so let me see if I covered everything. So make sure We Talk Weekly is going to be out there again. Streaming, making sure y'all see. If y'all can't come down, you can at least see all of the festivities. You can actually go to wetalkweekly.com and watch live. We're going to make that happen for you guys. So how can everyone get some more information about you, Juneteenth, and all that good stuff?
www.juneteenthphilly.org. Go on to participate. Gives you all the information about sponsorships, participation, the pageant, volunteer. If you want to be a part of it, just go to www.juneteenthphilly.org.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. You know what? I want to do something a little I know, right? So I'm gonna throw you a curveball, right? Because see, I know you, right? And so I usually do this with some of the guests. I want you to tell us one thing that no one else knows about Sonni Graham that you could tell us now. So you gotta dig deep in that purse, right? And because I know.
Yeah,
he knows
a lot.
So I want you to tell us one thing that no one else knows about Sonni Graham.
Let's see. One thing that no one knows about Sonni Graham is that I was a singer that had an actual solo career and was signed to Albie Shore. And
wow.
You gotta be you.
See, this is why the curveballs don't work. I was a solo artist and was running around Philadelphia singing and doing my thing back in the day. That's good enough.
Yeah,
that's good enough for you, brother.
That's good enough for you, my sister. Shout out. But I want to leave you with, because you come from a dynamic and an amazing family. You're such a great and amazing person. You even married an amazing gentleman.
I did. My husband, Jabbar Graham. Hey, boo.
No doubt. You're doing some amazing things. You're amplifying these ladies. So I want you to I want to give you this opportunity to talk to a young lady who may be watching this and kind of feel inspired. What would you tell a young lady watching you and want to kind of be like a Sonni?
You are smart. You are beautiful. You are wise. And to have the confidence to do whatever it is that you put your mind to, you can be anything that you want to be as long as you put your mind to it. Block the noise, get yourself in tunnel vision, and put yourself exactly where you want to be.
Fantastic. Give a round of applause for that. Right? I think this is an excellent transition to go to one of our young reporters. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. One more time, how can I get in contact with you and all that good stuff?
www.juneteenthphilly.org.
Fantastic. All right, y'all, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this.
Reporter Ella presents a new recipe that can help feed the community. Over to you, Ella.
Thanks, Willow. Now that fall is upon us, what's not a better way to start the fall season than an easy and simple recipe? Pumpkin bread is the most delicious and easiest food you can make for yourself, family and friends, and your community. Take a look. Today we're going to make pumpkin bread, so make sure you screenshot this recipe and let's get started. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. In one of your bowls, mix your flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and pumpkin pie spice. With your fork, mix. Now with your second bowl, mix your sugar, oil, and applesauce with a whisk. Once everything is mixed together, add your pumpkin and mix again. When everything is mixed evenly, combine both mixtures together. Make sure you scrape everything out so nothing is wasted. Now mix evenly until there's no lumps. After that, you want to set that aside and grab your bread pan. Lather some butter all around and add a little flour and spread it around until it looks like this. Now you want to pour the bread batter into the bread pan. Make sure you scrape everything out so nothing is wasted. Cut a line in the middle and it's ready for the oven. Make sure you wear oven mitts and let the bread bake for 60 minutes. Once the 60 minutes is up, take it out of the oven and let it sit for a few minutes. When the bread pan is safe to touch, use a straight edge to separate the pan and bread. This step is optional, but if you would like, slice the bread into thick slices and it should look something like this. You are all done. Dig in and enjoy your pumpkin bread.
We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers, if you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's going to make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers. And we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today. That's what we trying to do. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with, I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together and we just kept going. This one, this is one of my assistants here, one of like my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band, just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yes.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So We Talk Weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We talk weekly, come and hear us. We talk weekly, come and hear them. 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 We talk weekly, come and hear them.
There you go. We Talk Weeklies after the talk of WPPM. What happened? We back. Go ahead. We Talk Weeklies after the talk of WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and a beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
Now you know we gotta have a sizzle. You ready for the sizzle for me?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah, I was just asking a quick question because I put some stuff in there. I just wanted to make sure.
See him. We Gucci.
All right. We good to go.
Yeah,
we good to
Gucci,
go.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Ready for me? Let me see if I can find you.
Yes, I'm ready. So just before I jump right on in, just want to make sure everybody like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to, support us even further, make sure you make a donation to $ We Talk Weekly on Cash App. And you can also go to www.wetalkweekly.com and you can make a secure donation through our through PayPal. All right, so pop singer Britney Spears. Unfortunately, she has been arrested in Ventura County, California for a DUI after the police received a call of someone driving erratic, weaving in and out of traffic, almost causing accidents. So she was pulled over by police not too far from her home, and she was arrested on suspicion of a combination of drugs and alcohol. Now, fans of Britney, they are already speaking out all over social media in support of her and her mental health and well-being. And her fans are relentless, especially, when she was in her conservatorship. She was released from her conservatorship in 2021. And in 2024, Britney Spears divorced her then husband, model Sam Eshkari, after just 1 year of marriage. And last month, she sold her music catalog. And this deal was estimated to be about $200 million. So police are still investigating this matter, but Britney is scheduled to appear in court on May 4th, and she could be potentially facing jail time for drug possession.
Damn, Britney.
Yeah, and people are saying the fact that she sold her music catalog is like a strong statement.
So is it right to say that when she had, what is it, not guardianship, what was it, her
conservatorship,
that she may have needed it, may not be as strict as it was, but some type of overseer of her, because she clearly did exactly what they thought, or whoever, I think it was her father at that time, thought could happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, according to her fans, they have always thought that he is the reason for all of this. I mean, I don't want to say all of this, but like for her mental health issues and
someone who's more trustworthy. Although he created it and messed her up, it still doesn't negate the fact that she probably needed someone to oversee. And it's just so sad.
Yeah, it really is. I hate to see Britney going through this because, now it's more like light on her, more videos, more scrutiny, and she's trying to stay now closer to her children. I even saw pictures of her now, her son driving her in the car now. So yeah, it's just sad. It's just really sad.
The last thing I want to say about that is that it's like the media is so distracting, so much noise, is that although it's like they push it. And what I mean by that is that had they not got involved to a degree, Free Britney and all these other things, then maybe it probably could not have ended up to this degree. Like this woman can be facing jail time, you said?
Well, I mean, they did find, I think, pills or something in her car.
Yeah.
So, or whatever the drugs were. Depends on, what the substances are and all that.
It's just sad. That's just sad all the way around.
Yeah, it really is. Because I was watching, there was another clip that they were showing, and they said something about, this police officer had pulled her over twice. I guess twice in 1 week. I think they was comparing how many times she was pulled over or something like that, and trying to say talking about her behavior. But then I was just the police officer pulled her over, and I forget, I wish I could remember what the police officer was saying, but it was just whatever it was that he pulled her over for, it was nonsense. I'm is he just trolling her, or because he knows it's Britney, he wants to pull her over and just have something to say to her? I don't know. I mean, and I can't, I'm not judging that, but it just was is it just her and her behavior every single time?
to me, she's being profiled.
That
Let's just watch her do something so we can pull her over or we can get her again.
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. Because it was something like about yeah, it was like one of it. I wish I could remember because it was something like real small, like seatbelt or something. It just was something like real corny. Yeah, like I'm just like, really, are you just really trolling her? Do you want to just like pull her over because you know that's her car, you want to talk to her or whatever? I don't know, but it's just like that. And I don't want to compare apples to oranges when it comes to racial profiling because that's something totally different. But when you've been like pulled over and profiled or like paparazzi when it comes to, you know, celebrities and the anxiety of it and, you know, Princess Diana and all that, and, you know, it's traumatizing, I guess, for them. I would say that. So to be just pulled over for nonsense is just... Could that be adding to her, you know, behavior?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like if you finally get to a point where you're like sane, and then it's like a trigger. Yeah. You know, they talk about triggers when you have PTSD, and like how to avoid them, and what you do like through therapy and when you're triggered. I don't know.
Living life out loud like that all the time, always in the forefront, always in social media. You got kids, and your kids got to see stuff or go through stuff too. It's probably a trigger for her every single day.
Exactly. And yeah, that conservatorship and being controlled and like, I don't know, she used the term used as a machine. I can't remember, but it seems like she said that. It's just, yeah.
That's a lot.
Poor Britney. Yeah. Free Britney is like, will she ever be free? All right, so
I'm just thinking because freedom for some
start
existing in your mind, and for her, I just
exactly because
like Britney. She can't do no wrong to me. So.
Yeah. I just feel terrible for her. And I hope she, you know, bounces back from this. All right, so Sean Diddy Combs could be free. Talking about free, he could be free a little sooner than we thought. His prison release date, previously slated for June 4th, 2028, has been pushed up to April 25th, 2028.
That's
so
2028.
2028.
Oh, 2028.
Okay. Yeah. So Diddy is currently serving his 50-month sentence at Fort Dix Prison in New Jersey, just 40 miles outside of Philadelphia. And his attorneys requested from the judge that the judge recommend Diddy serve his sentence here due to the prison's drug rehabilitation programs. So Diddy's attorney, Terry Garagos, said, in order to address drug abuse issues and to maximize family visitation and rehabilitative efforts, we request that the court strongly recommend to the Bureau of Prisons that Mr. Combs be placed at FCI Fort Dix for RDAP purposes and any other available educational and occupational programs. So Fort Dix is also a low security prison housing approximately 4,000 prisoners. So Diddy was arrested in September 2024 and convicted of 50 months in prison for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. So he might be getting out just a tad bit sooner. So
what if we just all went up there and did visits?
You know what? That is crazy. That was crazy because I was thinking that too. Like, just right outside of Philly. So, like, I wonder if he would just take me for events. Like, we just go up there and we gotta get on his list and all that.
I'm quite sure people are doing it.
Yeah, and they put him there because he wanted to be like at the program close to New York and his family, and be able to have visits from them and still do the program. And yeah, and he didn't know he was close to us, so
they on his list.
Yeah, put us on the list.
He probably, I was going to say recruiting, but he probably seeing some of them. You know, just because you in there.
Exactly.
He probably
exactly.
So
Yeah,
he might see us.
Yeah, because I think there they got work release and stuff. They got little programs there and all that. So
you might have to holler at your sister. Return to city. You're gonna be a returning citizen.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
deals with exonerees. That means that you were wrongfully convicted. He ain't saying I don't know, but he was wrongfully convicted. That's another conversation.
Yeah,
I say go for it. Loneliness make you do some strange things. So
yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. He might, you get the exclusive interview. Just how's life been? Yeah.
What would we ask about the baby oil?
Oh God.
I'm just saying, like, what would we ask them? I mean, where's R. Kelly? He in Chicago?
I think he's still in New York.
Oh, he's in New York. Okay. Well, I know he's from Chi-Town. I didn't know if they probably tried to make him get closer to his hometown or not. So, yeah. But I'm the person who feel like Diddy is not there he shouldn't be there for this. That's my opinion. I think that, you know how they tell you that what you get caught for, you really didn't do, but what you didn't do, you really, I think it's, in my opinion, one of those things, but it's already public opinion and, they've already, So, but I think that the year is going to change for him. I think he's going to get out earlier, and as far as not months, but I think he'll probably get like out in 2027, or they'll keep pushing that April.
I would not be surprised, because I know he did get 12 months for credit for time served, because he had already done a year before he was sentenced, and then this is just me, not any thoughts of We Talk Weekly or the show or any of that, but like, I would not be surprised if there is like a backdoor agreement.
No pun intended.
Where
pause. We're named that shit. Pause.
If there's a backdoor,
you gonna use the word again?
Pause.
There's a loophole.
I gotta get it. I loophole. Pause. I gotta get a dang that pause.
Pause. Everything was paused.
If his camp reaches out to the current administration and there is some type of agreement that we don't know about, where he purchases his early release earlier than we think, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's just like, probably at the time it's like it's kind of like the wrong time to be like, you can be pardoned. You know what I mean? Like, you could be pardoned, especially with everything that's going on with these Epstein files. It's just not really a good look. But
I also think, because he is a billionaire, that they are treating him a little unjust. There's things that, because of who he is, that the average Joe would have not endured. There was times where he could have gotten, bail, but they know he can afford it. So that to me is like discrimination to a degree, because you're not using the justice system appropriately. You're not looking at equality for that person to have them at the same race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's, I guess, two ends of the spectrum. You got a lot of people are saying the same thing, and then there's also the prosecutor who's just like, he should have got those 11 years that we asked for. Which is, 11 years is, I won't say.
Right, but they were getting him on a RICO case. Can you have a RICO case alone?
He wasn't, those were the more severe charges that he was not found guilty of.
Right.
And if he had have been, then it would have been something like that. So.
Well, yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are saying, based on like what he was convicted on, the 50 months is a stretch.
Excessive.
Mm-hmm. Based on those convictions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So the celebrity sizzle.
I felt like those stories were short. That was it.
Yeah.
I like this story. You gotta do some more stories, man. Go ahead.
The celebrity sizzle award. Well, yeah, we probably want to get out of here because you know time going up an hour and by the time we get to bed.
Hold on, when is
That's tonight.
It's daylight savings time tonight.
Oh my! So I lose an hour.
You lose an hour. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I hope I make it because I know I was losing an hour.
Oh my
We in here
God.
yapping.
Exactly. Soon as that adrenaline wear off, and then you gotta get in the bed and then lose that hour.
Put daylight saving time in jail for a second. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, and it's around this time that you question it. Like, all right, let's start that petition to cancel. I say when it fall back, you like, all right, good.
I thought they had plans
They,
on taking it out
they
anyway.
always talk
Yeah.
about it. I think it's
Yeah.
a money thing though. Like
Yeah,
the
they say for
deliveries,
farmers.
the tariffs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
We ain't laughing no more.
Yeah, we ain't laughing no more.
I just got sleepy.
Yeah, I know. Eyes got real heavy.
What y'all said after the adrenaline, or what you said, the adrenaline rush off, that's between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. when I leave here. So I'm already struggling to get to church.
Yes, I know. It's just like, forget about the Sunday school. All right, so the Celebrity Sizzle Award of the Week. Shout out to Spark for making me remember. I wanted to include this.
Hold on.
Goes
hold
to
on. Spark. Oh, go ahead. No, you good. Go
You about to put me in jail.
Yes,
you
I
about
was.
to
He said, yes, I was.
Go sizzle. Give me my flowers. Thank you.
Go ahead.
And I gave him a drum.
Yeah, I mean, we was on a little short sabbatical. I had this on the list like 2-3 weeks ago, and Spark made me remember. But it goes to Lauryn Hill. She's been nominated to be inducted into the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So she released the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill 28 years ago, becoming the first hip hop. Shout out to Women's History Month. I thought he was gonna say something, but becoming the first hip hop. You gonna get me with a Kanye West moment?
I'm gonna let you finish.
Becoming the first hip hop album to win Album of the Year at the 1991 Grammy Awards. And then John Sykes, chairman of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation, said in a statement, "This diverse list of talented nominees recognizes the ever-evolving faces and sounds of rock and roll and its continued impact on youth culture." So Lauryn Hill joins the 17 other nominees, which include Mariah Carey, Wu-Tang, Sade, Pink, Shakira, Luther Vandross. They got some heavy hitters that you're just like, why weren't they in there before? You know, bunch of people, Pink, New Edition, Phil Collins, some of the legends, the greats are in here.
I like Pink, but
it's too soon. It's too soon for. Too soon for.
I just feel like I got other people who could have
gotten
I can
in
insert.
there.
That's all.
And you said Shakira?
Shakira.
I think that's a little too soon too. I don't know her catalog.
Well, I really can't. I mean, when you say too soon, like then that is Lauryn Hill too soon.
Like they got too much work to do.
I just feel like there's other people for me I can insert in that space that to me are more deserving of it.
Yeah, well, I think Lauryn Hill she's like legendary.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Pink. I think Lauryn Hill, because when you said about as far as timing, they came out where they would have a nice time frame, but I just feel like I could name somebody who I could feel like would be in that. Yeah.
I mean, I like Shakira. I don't know her full catalog though, but
okay, for instance, Pink, Jill Scott, like who came out. You
that's
see
a
what
good
I'm saying?
I guess that's a good comparison.
Like,
I haven't followed Pink like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like she was on our side a little bit, then she went over, but she used us when she first came out. Like,
there's a list of people that have done that.
Yes, she's on that list.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if you had to put those two people, Jill Scott is standing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, is it
Hall
time?
of Fame is
yeah.
I don't know. That's
That's another
again.
conversation.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but it's
But Lauryn Hill, man, to make all right, we know she did the
No, we're not excuse. Hold on.
The story is baloney. You people must be idiots. What are you doing? Are you people out of your mind? Are you just dull with it? Do you have any clue? Duh. Your conduct is out.
Oh wait, we gonna argue about no Lauryn
I
Hill.
was not. I was about to give her kudos.
Yeah,
Like it's not on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I play it to this very day. I know all the words to each song. Never skip each song. I'm saying for you to have one CD to carry you this long is the way you want to do it.
It's not just
and
one
the fact
CD.
that like
she got a lot of.
No, she got that one CD.
No,
she did the.
She have a
Fugees.
live CD.
I'm talking about the Miseducation
no,
album, unplugged or whatever. She could have like
No, I hear
revamped
you.
it, but it's the same songs. But trust me, I know front to back, back to front. But that's timeless to be able to. That's to me genius. Like that is amazing for you to have one CD. I'm not even. I'm not downing it.
No, I
I'm
know, I
saying
got
how genius it is for it to carry you that long. Like that art of how that CD is amazing.
The flip side of that is people don't give her credit because they say she only have one CD.
But
that's not accurate. Like
and then would she put out another one though?
Yeah.
Why would
wouldn't.
you?
I wouldn't.
If that CD has had that magnitude of success.
What my granddaughter, like there's generations that know that song because of how much I played that song. And now she knows who Lauryn Hill is. You know what I mean? Like that to be almost 30 years old, I don't think she could top it.
Yeah, and if you look at artists like Cardi B, that's just like I'm sensitive about my art. So I don't even want to put out another another album because I don't know if it's going to top that success.
Every artist has
every artist, of course, but they put out another album.
But what she did, because even with, I think it was almost like a diss track with what Wyclef at the time. Like what she did was just it was amazing. It was amazing. She was a singer on it. She was a rapper on it. It was double entendres. It was educational.
Yeah.
I love it. I wish she doesn't do it because it's like meeting your hero. I'm gonna be like, wait, I still like this one. Like, but just to be able to, it's almost like having a good garment and that being so the lining, the pressing of it.
Right. And if you
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and if you think of the 50th, well, now it's more than 50 years, but like the 50-year anniversary of hip hop, and that being the album that was like the first album to get a Grammy Award for hip hop, it opened the doors.
Yeah, I just want to say that. I mean, she has an acoustic album, and it's amazing. And not only that, she played the instruments, and that's what makes her so dynamic. Like she's stupid talented. Like it's not just singing. I mean, it's rapping, singing. Acting, R&B is her instrumentation. Is her being able to put. I don't think Pink could do something like that. So when I'm thinking of the full picture, like she's light years ahead of Pink. However, people who maybe support Pink would probably say her catalog is long, and they probably have support with Pink. I don't know. I don't follow Pink so much, but I know one thing.
You talk about talent.
No, we've heard Pink music. We don't gotta follow her. No, it's the truth.
She's talented, but
if you think of Aretha Franklin,
it's levels
and look at how Aretha plays the instruments, how she sings, how she acts. That's like even Lauryn Hill even looked at like Aretha. They did like a thing, a song like that. It's just different. And I think Pink, if she was sitting right here, would be like, I don't even compare.
Of course
she would tell you.
She would tell you, don't put me in the same category.
Lauryn Hill, like she walks on air to me.
Me too.
It's like
me too.
You can't put her in nobody else's conversation. Me, like I mean. Just who else is she in the conversation with?
Nobody. I said Aretha Franklin.
She I mean, no, you can't.
That she has her generation, but Aretha of her generation, absolutely.
I still wouldn't put them two in the same conversation at all.
Because you can't though, they're in different generations.
That's that too, but I'm not taking anything from Aretha Franklin because she's kind of like a guy too. But you can't compare. I just don't compare. Then you talking about someone who can sing and rap.
Yeah, I was going to say the singing and rapping.
But Aretha Franklin, she's classically trained.
Yeah.
And so she can play the piano. She understands artistic. Like,
but that was the muse of Lauryn
Yeah.
Hill. Like, Lauryn is birthed because of Aretha, is what I'm trying to say. Like, she's looking at her like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to be. And then hip hop started, but it wasn't in Aretha time. And then so now she has that avenue, but it wouldn't be a Lauryn if there was no not you, Lauryn, but you know what I mean. It wouldn't be a Lauryn.
I wish I was a Lauryn.
There wasn't an Aretha. You wouldn't have Lauryn if it wasn't Aretha.
That's so like that with a lot of people.
I know, but that's what
then
I'm
you
saying.
got to talk
Lauryn
about what's her name?
She would tell you like I wouldn't be who like even with like
who they
Whitney.
sung the song for,
Just my
no, I got you at the what is
not Roberta Flack. You talking about her?
Yeah.
You talking about
Simone?
Yes.
That's
Strange Fruit.
That's Aretha Franklin. Like everybody got a baby.
Yes,
so to speak.
exactly.
So
then
you
gotta
talk
bring
Nina
her
Simone,
up,
you gotta
like,
bring her. You gotta talk about everybody. She birthed everybody. Like you know, that's what I'm saying. Everybody is that's the quote unquote progeny of someone else because that was the inspiration.
Yes.
And so I'd never put. You know, that's why I say I don't want to get into too much hip hop because I'm taking away from the story. But you know, you can't compare generations.
So
like,
but and granted, but I don't know. This is not a dig, but this is what Lil' Kim was telling Nicki Minaj. Am I starting something?
No,
like
that
real
part
talk.
too. That's a baby. Like Nicki Minaj is Little Kim baby. Like you can't, and it's no dig on anything. And Little Kim is probably a baby of I don't know, maybe Roxanne Shante or something. I don't know.
Right,
but everybody has something that they came from, and so
Agree.
it is what it is.
Agree. All right, I'm done.
Speaking of Roxanne Shante, real quick.
Hey, this is Roxanne Shante, and your week cannot be complete unless you listen to or watch We Talk Weekly. Please believe me, baby.
Put her in the Hall of Fame.
They should
gave
have
$1
put her in
million.
the Hall of Fame. They should have put her in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yes.
She deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
So did Lauryn Hill. I don't know if Pink do, but
Go ahead, Lauren.
I'm gonna let her
finish.
She keeps getting her with that.
Spark, I'm gonna let you finish, but
go ahead.
She keeps getting her with that Clarissa Shield. That little jab. Yeah, I'm the girl Lauren Sizzle, and that was a sizzle.
That was a sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show. This is We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMOP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Greg and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
And we out here like last year, y'all. 2 overdue.